welcome back, D Game. We're on another episode. We have Landon. Landon is a friend of mine. He's he's Landon. There's a whole bunch to him. He's an interesting character.
There's a whole bunch to me, just like in terms of actual size. And
well,
just,
no, and the deal is you got you've been really in the last year you've lost. You actually been working out and you lost quite a bit.
I would say I have, like, I wouldn't say I necessarily lost because I kind of stopped going to the gym for the last couple of months, but what I've done, it's kind of like bulked up in the right spots.
Yeah.
Like it all started kind of equaling out. I didn't just,
it's not, you don't
just fucking get rid of this.
you don't really have to, like I say, no, you don't have to be fucking
paper rod skinny.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You don't have to be fucking rigid and fucking just ripped all the.
I'll never be that again. Like, no, I will never be that skinny. I think for me, if I can get back down into the 240s and stay in the 240s, I think I'll be good. Right now, I'm like in the mid 260s.
Yeah, and has it gave you any? Like I said, I'm just curious. I don't know, but has it gave you any? Energy pickup, just being a little more fit? Have you ever noticed anything?
So to kind of give you a little bit of context, like back when I first started going back to the gym, I was on a new medication that had like a lot of, like, it gave me a lot more energy. I since stopped taking that about 3 months ago, and that also like kind of equal out when I stopped going to the gym. So
oh, okay.
I need to get back on it.
Yep. And then if we just slide a little bit close, just a touch closer. That way it picks up a little bit instead of
in the eye, please.
Well, I mean, that way it's not picking up on my mic versus yours, Gotcha. That's the only thing. No big deal. But all right, I just want to get to, let everybody know, how old you are and what your status is, what you do for a living, yada, yada, yada.
32 years young.
Yeah,
young. Single as a Pringle and single as shit. Like, nobody's even barking up my direction.
Oh
no. And I'm gonna be working for the one you had on here last week. I was one of the friends. Which one's the round one?
Well, that was somebody that didn't show up today. So
okay.
that's complete deal.
I'll drag him down here one day.
Yeah. Oh, it'll be good because. Everybody's got schedules and things that they do. It happens. But, one thing I wanted to really talk to you about or whatever is you were in the military.
Yep.
And, so I just want to kind of know about it. Like, how long you were in, when were you in, what were you, what rank? And then I'll ask questions because everything is an abbreviation for the military, you know what I mean? Because you guys all talk in acronyms.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Everything,
It's one of those things that I kind of hate explaining, but I also get why people get lost on. It's one of those things. It's also something that I wish I could break out of. Like, there's a lot of things that the military did for me, like eating fast. I cannot not eat fast, and that is annoying for me and everyone else around me. And then, like, I talk fast now. Like, I used to talk a lot slower, but now people can't keep up with what the hell I'm talking about.
Was that a thing in like basic training that you hurry up because you had to go do something, or is it just something they expect throughout?
So
I know it's simple, but I'm curious.
I would kind of describe it as, part of it was basic training, but then part of it was just living. You work any job, you're going to pick up certain vernacular that not everyone else is going to, do English, that not everybody else is going to learn, and then you're going to kind of go along with that in life. And when it's the military is a little bit unique from your average job because it doesn't stop even when you go home.
Yep.
Because like there's a work day and you can go home, but you're still going to be doing military. Like, you're going to be going to the barracks and someone like your squad leader walks in, you're still military. You're still military like 24/7 until you leave the military.
Yep.
So, but so I joined. I was 21 years old. I had like very, very few options. I was a college dropout, working for my dad, doing odd jobs, living out of my sister's basement on a couch. I was
the stereotypical
miserable. Yeah. Like I hated me. I legitimately would hate me back then. Like I was a scumbag. I was a dirtbag.
Jesus.
Like, oh God, like I was whiny, unmotivated, undisciplined. And so,
Well, I'm just to kind of break in before I don't want to screw everybody up, but not very many podcasts have people on that call themselves a scumbag,
yeah, yeah.
dirtbag. So if you guys like and subscribe, because I mean, what the fuck, right? So I mean, goddamn. But like and subscribe,
Yeah,
and share it out on your social media. The people that have been here consistently, I really appreciate. You guys are really like the backbone, obviously, and you guys are helping out quite a bit. If you share it out to all your social media and just do the same thing, maybe they'll share it out. Let's see how far this thing can reach in a couple podcasts and see what we can end up building and becoming. You never know. I mean, everybody, Landon, he needs all the help he can get. So,
yeah.
Subscribe for Landon.
Progress.
It'll make him feel good. He's, I could tell him like a month from now, he's like, hey, one person subscribed to you,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, a whole person, huh? Not 5% of a person.
But sorry, I didn't mean to break you up where you were.
Good.
Just had to throw it out there. But back to daily life and military.
So I dropped out of college. Like I said, just didn't have any direction in life, and I always was interested in the military. Like I wanted to join the Marines in high school, but then I let certain people, my mother, talk me out of that. And they were all coming from a good place, but it was just something I should have just up and done it. I shouldn't let people talk me out of it, and that's kind of been a theme throughout my life. But I eventually did it, and I thought I was talking to a National Guard recruiter. Like I legitimately thought I was just like, oh, I'll be home, whenever. And then he's like, oh, by the way, I'm active duty, right? I'm like, what's the difference? He's like, yo, you get to go live somewhere else. I'm like,
nice.
All right, that sounds like that sounds like fun. And I don't know why, but I got it stuck in my head even before I got to basic. Like, I want to go to Germany. I want to go get stationed over there. And so he's just like, okay, here's an MOS that has a good likelihood.
No, and the MOS is, like I said, because we just don't know.
So basically, I don't know what the actual term is, but it's basically what your job in the military would be.
Okay.
So my MOS was 92 whiskey, which is a water purification specialist.
Okay.
So the number is the series of jobs.
Didn't they have a movie about
fucking
that?
Pauly Shore? I am so fucking sick of that movie. I am so fucking God. Oh my God. I always say it like this. It was very accurate up until they got to do all the cool shit at the end where they started blowing shit up. Everything else, the fucking rope use, the fucking
You're saying it was everything but cool.
It was everything but cool.
Yeah,
everything but cool.
Yeah.
There were like all the chicks looked like G.I. Jane or some trailer park thing. I was promised hot women when I got my MOS.
You see
that my recruiter lied to me.
Well, usually if you have a promise of a hot women or good looking women or a bunch of women, guys are 99% more likely just to run to it, instead of you're like, hey, you lied. Well, tough shit. Now you sign the papers.
Tough shit. You sign the paperwork.
Yep, you're screwed now.
So I signed up when I turned 21 a couple months before I left, and all of my friends were younger than me. So I was sitting at a bar by myself on my 21st birthday and didn't get a drink with any of my friends until, I got to Europe or I came back on Christmas leave. And that sucked.
Yeah, you weren't even able to get into Germany or whatever, have your first beer in Germany when you turned 21. You were still here?
No, so like I said, I turned 21 before I went to the military. So
okay, yep.
Yeah, I was a lot older than most of the guys going in, but I still wasn't even close to the youngest. Like there was a sergeant who, like, he came from the Navy. There was actually two sergeants from the Navy who came in, and I don't fucking know their rank structure over there, but they came in and they're doing their prior service stuff to go do Army Reserve or whatever, and they're like 35, 36. Like that's like the cutoff for like military, for the Army at least, to do basic training. But did basic training in Fort Jackson in the probably worst time of the damn year to do it, because it was just like at the tail end of summer, so like August, September time frame.
That's down south.
Yeah, in the south. Into into like October, November, I was out in the field, out in a tent when the temperature dropped. And when I say the temperature dropped, like it was like 60s, 70s that during the day, it dropped down to like 20
Oh,
in a span of like a couple hours. Like I got a very bad everything infection. Like my entire face was just infected. My ears were exploding, like all that crap. So after that, after basic, I went to AIT, that's Advanced Individual Training School. So that's at Fort Lee, Virginia, and that's where I got to do all the, the water boy stuff.
yep.
Fucking hate that movie.
Yeah,
So
that was
much.
so funny. And when you said I had to bring it up, yeah.
The In the Army Now and Waterboy, the Adam Sandler movie, are the two things I get thrown in my face the most when I explain what my job was.
So I just had to be the next one to do it.
Believe me, it's the only thing people know about my MOS.
Nice.
Then for fucking AIT was just awful because it was like you go from hyper disciplined basic training where every little mistake you make is punished to the extreme to you just get your ass chewed in AIT. That's all you do. And then you get a bunch of guys who are like, you give them an inch, they take that mile, and the discipline just falls apart. But after that, that's when I went to Germany, and I didn't come back to the States for like 2.5-ish years until I got out.
So while you're there or whatever, obviously, you're enjoying the culture. Germany's nice.
Mm-hmm. Germany's beautiful.
You're enjoying the culture. Obviously, beer is wonderful.
Mm-hmm. It's hard for me to stomach American beer anymore.
Really?
Oh God, it tastes like this. It tastes like this. It tastes like straight piss, and I do not have that fetish.
Isn't that what everybody says about Bud Light right now?
Yeah.
Fuck, tastes like piss. Fuck that. Yeah. But you were in Germany, like say, plus, the countryside basically out there is different than.
Oh yeah.
It's nice. I mean, it is
nice. It rains all the time.
Yes.
It rains. It rains more days than it does not. And when I say it rains for days on end.
Really? Like a Seattle kind of?
Yeah. I've never been to Seattle, but that's what the comparison was.
Yep.
That a lot of people had for it. And there's also just a lot more forests. Like, granted, we live in a part of the United States where you can freaking look and see the next town over. But,
exactly.
No, it's just you look in any direction, there are trees for miles. But then again, you drive those couple hours, and you're in an entirely different country.
Oh yeah.
That took a long time to process that because me and my buddies, we would go out on the weekends. We drive for 2 hours. Oh crap. We're in Austria. We're not allowed to leave we're not allowed to leave Germany without approval. We need to turn the fuck around.
Yeah, I mean that's one thing that is a something that people probably realize but don't really know to the extent that the countries over there are countries, but they're not as big as they really think.
A lot of my European friends, and I have quite a few, when I tell them like, oh, hey, I'm just going to drive for 6 hours, I'm not going to take a flight, they're blown away that I would drive 6 hours and still be in the same country.
Yeah.
Like, granted, like, you drive 6 hours anywhere around here, maybe in the Midwest, it'll still be the same, but like you'll eventually get to a culture change even in this country.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And there's then you get, so you're there, obviously the scenery is different and everything. And when we talk scenery,
I don't know what the hell anyone's talking about.
There's a lot of there's a lot of attractive women over there.
Oh my god.
There's a lot of attractive women over there.
And they are down. They are down.
Yeah. And it's completely different.
They have a very different attitude towards relationships, towards sex, towards everything.
And they have a completely different attitude. It's more or less when it comes down to break it down to a gender role. Yeah. Women are more accepting and wanting to be on their gender role, same way as the guy. Well,
even with that, like the younger women, they're more open about the fact, like they're more accepting of the fact, like guys around here, sometimes they just want a one night stand, and women over there, at least in my experience, they're a lot more accepting of like, hey, let's just head in and quit it.
Yep.
And another thing, like over there, that was a bit of a culture shock in terms of like sex. We'll have like porn magazines, Playboys, and all that stuff in gas stations around here, but it'll be like behind the counter, covered up, and that stuff. Nope, it is out in the main lobby, and it is uncovered for all to see.
Yep.
Just
Yeah, there's
that
not
was-
there. Yeah, there's not such a stigma
Yeah.
on it over there. Is more, I guess, you mainstream.
Which
Would
I
that
think
be
is
the right?
stupid. I think
you know?
it's stupid that we have such a stigma around it, but
Yeah. I mean, it makes it sound like it's a, it's a negative thing
like,
that
people
we.
have fun.
Yeah,
It's
I mean,
fun. Sex is fun.
I mean, if you ain't overtly
Breaking
doing
news over here
something
on this
that's like,
podcast, sex is fun.
yeah, exactly. If they're not doing a something that's overtly kind of you shouldn't be doing, you know what I mean. To a certain extent, it should. I mean, yeah, I get a little bit of modesty. I get it, but yeah, maybe we're taking a little too far still.
Yeah. So I lived in so I was stationed over in Bamberg. Bamberg is in like southeast side of Germany, if I'm remembering it right. Because now I can't find the damn thing on a map. It's yeah, I lived over there for about 6 months before we closed the base down. Now I can't find it on a map, of course.
Of course.
So we closed down that base. This was during a part of during like the military's history called sequestration. That's when we were about to pull out of Afghanistan, quote unquote. And let's make sure we're cutting down the military spending. But we closed down Bamberg, and then I went to this little, which Bamberg is like paradise. That's Shangri-La. That's where all the guys want to go because that's where all the women are. It's a college town. There's like 4 bars per person.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god! Like, once again, I cannot stress this enough. German beer, just
What was it like the first time you went, sat down, ordered a beer? I mean, obviously you probably knew that German beer is a little bit, stronger, but the first time in your first drink, you were like,
so my first drink out on base, it was with a buddy of mine, and we went to an Irish pub. And I was still very nervous. I was a very shy guy even up until then. And then it really kind of took me going out by myself and and what becomes a theme in my life, going to the crummiest bar I can find. And then I'm like, oh, hey, my people.
Yeah.
And so like my first encounter with German beer, I was just like, okay, I get why people drink this. And then like they have to fill it up to a certain level. The head can't be too big. Like you can sue over there if there's a line, and I have been told, and I'm not sure if this is correct, but if you don't fill it up to that line in over there in those bars, you can sue those bars. I think I think that was something that I just got told and was a lie, but I don't know.
it's good. I know they have a lot more, I guess, pride. And you know what I mean? It's a major thing, obviously.
Yeah, Germans and pride.
Well,
there's a dark undercurrent to that.
We know where that all ended up going at one time or another,
yeah.
but I'm thinking they're by that.
You're still super okay with that.
Really?
Oh my God. So when they are in a dark bar, when they are not in public, when they are still okay with a little mustache, man.
Man, I was, like I say, I wish, I wish they could get by with, that would kind of go away.
Yeah.
Just the way of thinking. I mean, I get it. A lot of different countries have, the way we portray them in the news, in the media, whatever, isn't exactly what they are.
No.
It's weird here because, you portray somebody on a TV show that's from down south, and whatever. That's exactly what they are.
They want to know everything about your mother, daughter.
Yeah, and that's exactly what they are. When you think of a stereotype here, I thought when I was watching, oh, that's just an exaggerated, and whatever. No, it's true. When you get down there, it's dead true. It's like, goddamn.
The way I've always thought about stereotypes is like it's a reality taken to an extreme.
Yes.
Are there bucktooth hillbillies out there? Absolutely. They're in this state, not just in the South. But then you like, okay, so you see that one person, so that extreme, and then so everyone around that area has to be that.
Yeah.
That's to me what a stereotype is.
Yeah, it was like I say, I lived in Tennessee.
You're the only one in Tennessee.
Yeah, I lived in Tennessee. It was it was cool, and there were great people, but the stereotype of what Tennessee people are portrayed as dead serious. But great people. They literally give that shirt off their back to help you out any moment of the day. But God damn, man.
So when people asked me where I was from and I would explain it, the funniest one was, so you literally are from the middle of bumfuck and you got a pretty mouth.
Whoa. And I don't squeal. But but we get you're over there or whatever, and so you had, like, say you got some worldly experience, you've been around, you know, and that's one thing that the military kind of does, you know, is open up the world to
I'd have
people.
never gotten to Europe without the military. There like, I just would never have had that opportunity. I also spent some time in Turkey, but that was more for an actual military job, and that never went anywhere. Like, so that was like when we were thinking about bombing Syria.
Oh yeah, why not? I mean,
well, that was when the Civil War was like really kicking off, and like they were. That's when like the Assad government, so like the you know, the dictator there, he was like gas bombing kids.
Jeez.
Yeah. So
that's horrible.
We were debating going in, and then the Russians made a stink, because they always do. And then Obama was like, "Yeah, okay, you know what? Never mind." And, you know, looking back on it now, like older, I'm okay with that. I've made peace with the fact that, like, okay, probably was a good idea. I never went and saw anything.
There's but when you dealing with that, like Turkey, like, you know, I know you weren't there for very long, but is that, like, I guess in my mind or whatever, it's predominantly Turkish. No, I'm just like, no. Turkish is kind of like Indian.
No, so they're
okay.
So they're Middle Eastern. So
it's
a predominantly Muslim country.
Muslim. Okay. All right. So that's what I'm saying. I didn't know what the main culture was.
Yeah. I would say they're a little bit more moderate over there, from my experience. Now, the Turks actually kind of like our Mexicans around here. They tend to immigrate up to Europe and all that stuff. They go and do all the migrant work up there. But and by the way, Turkish food, oh my God, it is so good.
Is it?
It is so good. Now be careful, because you'll be biting into something and you'll be like, there's a really good you know, taco. What's in this?
Yeah. It's not really. Yeah.
And I was just like, well, I can scratch that off the bucket list, I guess.
Yeah, I think I'm not hungry anymore. I'm just.
Oh no, I kept eating. I was like, yeah, screw it. Everyone's like, you wouldn't eat a person, would you? Bullshit.
He's like, I didn't get looking this sexy just from frickin' standing throwing food away.
Yeah, exactly. No, like I said, I wasn't there long enough in Turkey to really absorb any culture, and I was on a Turkish military prison.
Oh, what? What?
Yeah, yeah.
That had to be that had to be
interesting. You would hear some screams coming from that building.
Oh no.
Yeah, like, I don't know if you ever heard of the thing of a Turkish prison, like in media or something, but like the I would say that stereotype is probably closer than not to real.
Eesh. Yeah, I don't ever would think that. That's one thing that we got here over here. Even the worst prisons are probably still better than 99% in the world.
Yeah,
you know, I would never want to be even in a moderate and, you know, decent prison in another country.
And people say like the cops around here are bad, and like there's going to be bad apples anywhere. German cops, they beat your ass and then arrest you.
Oh yeah,
and like you don't have the right to say no to get a blood screen. Like they will forcibly take blood from you.
Oh my God.
Yeah. They don't. You don't have the right to remain silent over there.
Yeah, and that, like I say, there's a lot of difference. We don't have, you know, when you go over there, you start to see some of the difference. You can appreciate the rights that we do have. You know.
Funniest story.
Oh no.
My time in Bamberg. Was out. It was a Saturday night. It was it was a Friday night, and I was the 173rd Airborne. These were a bunch of infantry guys, so they're like these alpha male jock types. They get back from some training or deployment, I don't remember what, but they got their first weekend. They were like, let's go fuck some shit up. So I'm at the bar, and they're all getting belligerently drunk. They get kicked out. They start throwing hands with the bouncers. The German cops come and arrest them. And there's this one guy who's in handcuffs, and they're getting loaded into this van. And the German cops, like, I don't know what happened, but they all kind of got into a little half circle, like started huddling and talking about stuff. This guy just fucking took off running.
Oh my God.
And I swear to God, it was like, like you could have put the music, because he was just like running around the damn van a couple times, and then he just took off somewhere, and then he came back, and I remember seeing him like on Monday at the shop at our, a little like convenience store thing on base. And he was bruised up. Oh, he was bruised up.
Yeah, they took care of him. Yeah, they took care of him the way it should have been. Yeah, they just made like, we're just gonna make an example. This isn't gonna happen again. You know.
No. So then we closed Bamberg down, and then I went to this little rinker-dink town in the middle of nowhere, the German equivalent of ding 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 ding. Yeah, they call them hill monkeys over in that part of Germany.
Really?
Oh yeah, the Germans are racist towards other Germans.
Oh, that's bad. But we're not talking like monkey as in color.
We're talking like
let's just make that damn sure, right? You know?
Like, we're talking like how we would talk about the rednecks out in the Black Hills.
Oh yeah.
But Baumholder, like the base itself was actually pretty nice. The town around it, it was built from the ground up to be a military town. There were brothels everywhere. There were bars literally 2 feet. Like Bamberg had 4 bars per people. Baumholder had like 10.
Yeah, and that's another point I wanted to kind of bring up and say was that when people say, "Oh, they're over in Germany," everybody gets the idea there's only one military base over there.
Oh no, there's a lot.
Yeah.
So Bamberg closed down. There's Grafenwehr. Grafenwehr is the big army one. Then there's Ramstein Air Force Base, and Jesus, I love that place. That once again, Uncle Sam has his favorite children, and the Air Force is it. That dining facility on Ramstein Air Force Base, like you go there right away in the morning, and you get some of the best pancakes you'll ever eat. Oh my God.
So you're saying that being in the military, the good things are like pancakes. It's highlights of your fucking week.
Like the chicken's actually cooked at an Air Force base. So
oh my God, no, that's bad. That's bad.
Times I've been into a freaking chicken, I'm like, there's blood.
Yeah, no, that's got awful.
Yeah.
No.
Oh yeah.
They but even like I say, through your experience in the military or whatever, you don't have a bad blood. You know what I mean?
No.
You enjoyed.
No,
you might not have enjoyed, but you respected your service, and
I respect what the military did for me. But I knew that, kind of within my first year, I'm like, okay, this is not for me.
Yeah, you weren't gonna be a career.
Oh, because when you're in basic training, you think you're hot shit. Because once you get towards the end, you're like, yeah, I'm the baddest motherfucker ever. Because you just keep getting told that, and you keep doing all this badass stuff. Like you're shooting guns every day, you're throwing grenades, you're going and clearing buildings and doing all the fun stuff. And then you get the IT, and then they're like, hey, slow your roll. You're basically a glorified desk jockey.
Oh yeah.
Once you get to a certain range, it gets worse.
Or Pauly Shore.
I cannot get over how much I hate that movie. I've tried to go back and watch it, and I'm like, I hate that I know that you're doing your job wrong. I hate that I know that they're doing their job wrong in how they're portraying it.
But honestly, it's an essential part.
No, it is. It is.
Especially when you're talking in a freaking desert.
Not everybody gets to go do the cool shit.
Yeah.
Not everybody gets to go. Not everyone gets to go be, like Chris Kyle or, Marcus and Trell or those type of guys. And then, not every guy gets out of the military and writes a book or starts up their own shirt company like the Article 15 clothing guys.
Yep. Yeah. But like I say, how many people really, I guess, are capable of putting in to what it takes to be, any military branch, special force.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What it takes is so much that there's so many people that I don't know if there's a lot of people that would be willing to put that much or capable.
And that's the thing about an all volunteer military. Like we don't have a draft over here. So you get people and you kind of almost have to take what you can get to a certain extent, but then you have to hold a standard.
Yeah. And we do quote, there is quote, a draft, but it just isn't enacted.
No, it would
not,
take something serious.
Yeah,
and
once, but if there ever is, then it's still here.
But so I think I read a report somewhere like less than 1% of the country right now is fit for military service.
Oh yeah,
and 1%, 1% of the population has been in the military.
Yep.
Like we're a big country. Think about that, like 1%, and then you're gonna and then to go to that extreme level of just airborne school. Like they hyped up airborne school, jumping out of planes and stuff. And I took one look at it. And I'm like, I'm good.
Yeah,
I'm good without jumping out of a perfectly good airplane. Me who had never flown until I went to the military.
Oh, but that was fun. It's not like a commercial jetliner.
And so that's like an even lesser percentage of the 1% who get in, and then you get that's the qualification to get to like Ranger School, to the Special Forces schools, and all those other elite stuff, and then it just keeps going down and down and down, because first of all you got to have people want to actually do that.
And yeah, like I mean, for me, I don't know if I would even be capable of to be able to, you know what I mean? They're not joking. I mean, them guys, they're extremely talented, extremely intelligent,
and motivated,
and have extreme just abilities that a general average person is you cannot train a general average person to do that. You have to be exceptional to a point.
It is a lot of people, like the people I've met who were in that side of like the military, they tended to be the jocks. They tended to be like the football captains. They tended to have that extra thing about them.
Yeah.
That just, you can't really create. It's just something that you either had or you didn't.
Yep. I mean, you can train it somebody like that to be, better.
You can,
but you can't train that, whatever it is, that spark. You can't train that into someone. They either have it or they don't.
There's a bit of I think that's something that society doesn't, or at least the media doesn't do well. There's a lot of great people in the military, but there's also a lot of not great people in the military.
Yeah.
But a lot of people join the military because they feel like they don't have a lot of options, and creates a certain environment for scumbags.
True.
True. And the way the military's and the way that at least the Army's promotion system is, where it's point based, and you kind of have to brown nose certain individuals to get to the schools that you want to go to, and and when you see the people who are actually like putting in the work, like going in around and making sure the trucks are running, making sure your equipment's all together, making sure you're not missing any equipment, making sure then that the guys are all straight, like they're up to date on all their myriad of whatever crap that they're deciding to do. Those guys kind of get pushed to the side, but the guys who go and brown nose up to the first sergeant or the platoon sergeants, they seem to get the promotions, and that can leave a bad taste in your mouth.
Yeah. And then like one of the things that I seen, or what I mean, just knowing, we all know the special forces, we all know that one of and extremely hard, extremely amazing what they do. But one of the things I always thought was extremely hard, I know it's extremely hard, but it's just amazingly cool, to me anyway, is the guards for the tomb, for the unknown.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
That, I don't know if I would ever have that in me to do that, because that is a lot of just standing still. And you've seen me at the bar. I don't do standing still.
Yeah, exactly.
I see a freaking shiny thing and I'm like, squirrel.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go see what's going on over there.
But man, just the dedication and what they put in and the work they put into it. It is, I'm sure there is, but there is
respect to the millimeter where your hand goes when your rifle's up here.
Yes.
That takes a level of dedication I just don't have.
Yes.
I just flat out admit I don't have that level of dedication.
And just the respect that they show. And that's, I mean, that's just cool. I mean, it's like, wow.
But there was a TikTok floating around where there was a turkey that just wound up there near the tomb of the unknown soldier, and the dude and he's just standing there at attention waiting for this damn bird to go past.
Yep. Well, I mean,
and by the way, If any of you are watching, think you can go up there and actually go mess with it, I would say it's the same thing as the Palace Guards over in London.
No.
They will mess you up. Those guns are not for show. They are loaded.
Yeah, and they will. Yeah, I think that. I mean, at least we heard. You never know if you're in there, but I think they have they can use force.
They can.
Even to lethal
there's
force.
There's a reason why they have bayonets, and there's a reason why they get gold-plated handguns.
Yep. And then, like I really do think that they're amazing.
They also can't smoke.
Really?
You cannot smoke while you are in that unit, not just on duty, in that unit. Like you have to I read some of the requirements, and some of them are just like, wow, that extreme, really? And it makes sense. You want people who are going to uphold the most professional standards. But damn, when you're controlling somebody's micromanaging someone's life to that extent, not for me.
But like I say, I got tons of respect for them guys. For what they do. I mean, it's just cool. Plus, the whole atmosphere there is.
I've never been.
It's completely. It just. I mean, when you're outside walking in, it's cool. You know what I mean? You want to see, you want to be, but as you're walking through to come out the other side, it's just like you walk through a wave or a wall, and it's just like it's heavy and it's real.
It's the weight of history.
It's real when
history
you're in
has
there.
weight to it. History's. I always say history's like a real thing. Like you can actually touch it. While I was over in Europe, I actually got to go to Bastogne, and the Band of Brothers, Easy Company.
Yep.
I actually got to see those trenches.
Really?
And the weird, the heaviness of that moment was you still the tops of the trees are still blown out from the artillery coming in. The foxholes are still all there. You're still finding every once in a while they'll still find like a brass shell, like a brass casing or some military equipment from the battle. And it is just, you feel it.
Yeah.
You feel something happen.
Whatever it is, it's real, and it's heavy, and you just.
And seeing all the Soviet, the Soviet stuff from the time, especially when you get out more east in Germany, the Soviets like bunkers, there's aircraft still there that are just rusting away.
Really?
Oh yeah.
They must have pulled a Biden and took off and left. All right, yeah, I said that.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I'm down.
I never went to Afghanistan, but I was in with guys who were, and every single guy that I talked to, hey, how does this end? They predicted that to a T. They predicted what was going to happen to a T. They were just the second we leave, it's all going to come down. I think we were all surprised by how fast it happened.
Yeah.
Because the Afghan army, it had its problems, but the commandos, these commandos are, for those of you who don't know, Afghan commandos, they're kind of like Rangers. They're elite. They don't give up without a fight, but even they were told to surrender, and a lot of them got executed.
Really?
Yeah.
That's that. Yeah. I mean, yeah, the world doesn't work the same way we do.
No, and especially something I think a lot of people don't understand about Afghanistan. Afghanistan only exists on a map.
Yeah.
Some European was like, hey, we should probably make sure we can understand this, but it's so tribal. And when I say tribal, it's just families living in one valley from another who won't have anything to do with each other for decades at a time, to the point where they're their own almost independent country.
Yeah.
And they'll pay taxes to somebody who comes in, but it's once a century, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's crazy how the one other thing is say talking about that special force and stuff. I don't promote a bunch of stuff. One guy I really like that's on YouTube is Don Shipley. I don't know if you've ever. He's Navy SEAL.
He's a Navy SEAL, kind of built like a brick house.
Yeah, and he
does those black and white videos.
He has an extreme problem with stolen valor.
Yeah. That's why I always say I didn't do shit. I always caveat everything I say when it comes to the military. I wasn't there. I didn't do a lot of the fun stuff. Well, fun stuff.
Well, not fun, but what people think of cool shit.
What people, yeah. And I always kind of say this, I've had this conversation with guys who've been downrange, and who said, you wouldn't have wanted it to. I get that. But at the same time, I think firefighters always look at like, I want to go into a burning building. Like my
Oh
dad's
yeah,
my dad's a
exactly.
volunteer firefighter. I've actually had
Yep.
this conversation with him, and he said, "Yeah, I always kind of wondered what it would be like to rush into a burning building to save people."
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
like, and so I think it's perfectly reasonable when you're in an environment where you're trained, like, oh, hey, you're going to kill somebody.
Yep. That you,
That
especially with all your training, you
yeah,
want to, you're enact on that training.
it's not even wanting to enact on it. It's just wondering, like, could you do it?
True.
Yeah.
True.
I mean, something that being a major history buff, I am. Something that a lot of people don't know, there's actually a lot of bullets that are fired in firefights because people sometimes subconsciously are deliberately missing.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, do you want to actually hurt somebody?
Oh hell no.
Exactly.
That's another thing is like, like you say, get in there and actually do. But if, I don't care if you actually do. I don't care if they're your worst enemy.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously you're gonna do. Military person's gonna do his job. But if you end somebody,
Mm-hmm.
it's gonna affect you in some way.
Subconsciously, people are less pieces of shit than I think people realize.
Yeah.
Than a lot of people realize, because no one actually wants to hurt people.
No.
You have to have something really. You have to have a certain particular screw loose to actually want to hurt somebody.
And like I say, the reason I kind of brought him up is, this, obviously the channel is about men and stuff like that, but I'm extremely pro-military. So thank you for everything that you do. And Landon, thank you for your service and everything. I know you hate it.
I hate getting thanks.
But you deserve it. That's whether they're the ones that gave and the other ones that they got injured, or the ones that just gave their time, you'll never get that time back. So it's more than what most think. It's that's, you only have so many days on this earth, and you gave a fraction of those, but that you'll never get back, to the service of every other American. So that deserves, in my opinion, at least appreciation.
I just get uncomfortable getting thanked because there were guys who did stuff, like guys who went out. Like I got a buddy who went to Afghanistan, and he saw some shit. But I always say like that's the guy you want to thank. I just got paid to go get drunk over in Germany.
Yeah, but it's still, like I say, it's just like people say, in another analogy or another way of thinking of it, if you got falsely arrested or whatever, and you were put in prison for 1.5 years,
you're never gonna get that time back.
Yeah, the time's gone. I mean, and people, oh, sorry, no big deal. Here's your $20 and go. No. I mean,
you get falsely arrested. I think you just to kind of go on to that tangent. If you get falsely arrested and go into prison, even for 1 year, mandatory minimum for that should be $1 million.
Oh God!
Like there was a guy in Iowa. He got sentenced. No, it was the guy in Florida. Oh my God, this story pisses me off. There was a guy in Florida. He got released because they found like the prosecutors. No, it was the police who arrested him, saying like this guy's probably innocent. The prosecutor from the case when they originally tried him was like, okay, this guy's probably innocent. But the prosecutors who took over the case, they just wanted him back in prison.
There's no. There does have to be, and like I say, I'm not against the police.
No.
Do I think that they have a lot to work on, and maybe policy changes and maybe training changes? Yeah, around here.
I think
around here we really don't. I mean, I have never really had a quote bad experience. I mean, they do their job, and if I did something, whatever, they did their job. They give me a ticket or whatever, But and there's a bad apple everywhere, and it doesn't make the other officer's job any easier.
In fact, it makes it increasingly more difficult. Bad apples anywhere make your life more miserable, because then there's that higher scrutiny, and like you're gonna make a mistake at some point in your life. Anybody who doesn't make a mistake, it isn't human.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah,
there's like I say, before we move off, or as we move off here, the military subject. One thing I'd like to say is, obviously nobody likes this stolen valor crap.
Have you had to encounter it?
it's not good. You know, I don't like it. I don't like hearing about it. I don't like seeing it because I mean, you know what everybody gave is and they didn't do anything for it. I mean, come on, just don't be a dick. And also you threw on the VA and things. Yeah, I know. I know. It's a completely different subject, and I'm gonna do another video just on kind of the military around certain days or whatever here, and yeah, that subject will probably be brought up because I think I think I think we should never. What they're doing now is crazy. I think, in my opinion, if somebody goes into the military, whether they injured, not injured, did their service honorably discharged. I mean, if they're dishonorably, I mean, it's your own damn fault. Yeah. Honorably discharged, just regular, whatever the deal, or they were in forever, or they got injured, or they got this, should never spend a penny on medical care ever.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah, I get that.
Ever.
I get that.
I mean, that I would be willing. I mean, how many taxes do we pay? I mean, I would want my taxes to go to that. I don't want them to go to certain things, but I would I would have no problem.
To me, that's not even a tax issue. That's more of just an employee benefit.
Yeah.
Like the military has all this, significance and all this ceremony and all this pomp and dog and pony crap. Ultimately, it's a job. Yeah. It really is a job.
It is.
And kind of touch on the getting out honorably. If you're thinking about going in the military, just do what you're told.
Yeah,
it's so easy to do what you're told because it makes the day go faster.
Yeah, even if they just want to get out,
get into the military, it's so easy to get out.
Yeah,
honorably. Just don't make your life difficult.
Yeah, it's just like say there's going to be a set date or within a set week that you're going to get out. You know, and you know it. You know it's coming. Just freaking follow the rules until that day and get out. Yeah.
It's kind of just like the general thing with any job. Just do what you're told. Do what you were expected to do. Either no more or no less, or do more because you feel like you have a certain drive. But just do what you're told. And
then that's kind of the things that I've said before on a podcast about work is just. Follow the rules. That's what you agreed to when you got hired. Right. Just the same way as when you, military, that's what you signed up for.
When people try and get out of doing something, why did you even show up? What, from my last job, we had people who just didn't realize, to kind of give it a context. I used to take care of people with disabilities, with special needs. Like people would come in and they would be very shocked that they would have to check and change people. Like, if they soil themselves.
Yeah.
Did you not know that that's what healthcare involves?
Yeah. I mean, it's not like what you see on freaking Grey's Anatomy or whatever.
Any positive commercial ever of a Fluffs or a Make-A-Wish commercial.
Yeah.
Where like, oh, this person has had to go overcome this. Not discounting that. But that's not the norm.
It's kind of like the military commercials, where you're watching like, oh yeah, I want to go into the Marines or the Army or whatever. You see people jumping out of Apache, or and they're doing all this, and you're like, oh no, I'm just water boy.
Yeah,
do that.
You say, all right. Make sure you get into a bad retirement.
But yeah, we talking about that, you being single.
Yeah,
and but you like say over there. As you're younger, like say, especially over there, it's not really the same as here. I
was in the best shape of my life. Yeah. Had the most inflated sense of self.
And that's a thing. I mean, honestly, there's a confidence is extremely attractive to women. Extremely. Mm-hmm. Now there is too much, where it turns into arrogance. Mm-hmm. Arrogance is extremely repulsive to women, but confidence is something you have to have.
Yeah.
Otherwise, the way I explain it is, if she's supposed to be with you and believe in you and have confidence in you to lead the relationship and do it. Well, if you don't even have confidence,
if you don't believe in you, why the hell should she?
Yeah.
Like if you don't have the integrity to be like, yeah, I'm worth this.
Yeah.
Why should she believe you? And that's something I've struggled with in recent years. Like, you've seen me at the bar.
Well, I know.
I don't talk to women anymore.
No, and we've like I say, we've had some, you know, general conversations, and we're friends.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
But yeah, I kind of know
you
some
got
of
the
the
idea I hated you from.
Well, yeah, no, it was, you know, there's just a lot, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? How life is. But we
It
had
doesn't help that I look grumpy as hell in bars normally.
well, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, and usually for the first 4 hours, I'm not the happiest either.
Yeah,
But,
yeah. Once the liquor starts flowing, though.
see, now you're talking.
Yeah.
So, but when we
This man will throw tequila shots. Like, this man will throw tequila shots while some women throw it back.
but it's we have you know, dealing with that, and like I say, and then that's one of the reasons why the channel was kind of started, because you're not unique, you know, your situation is widespread, maybe not exactly, you know, but everybody's struggling somewhere,
Yeah,
and it's tough because we, you know, it's the like we talked about earlier or whatever a little bit, we to get a woman is a struggle. It's a struggle, but to keep them
is harder.
It is even more of a struggle
harder.
for a lot of people until they find the right mentality, and the right belief in themselves. And it's weird because,
and it doesn't help when you thought you had that once and it just yanked away from you. Like I like, I'm kind of almost to the point where I'm that guy at the bar who's like complaining about the one who got away, but like 7 years ago, I got my freaking just soul crushed by a woman.
Yeah.
And it's been hard to talk to women since.
Did you, and I'll like say, just to kind of hit highlights, or maybe if you don't mind, about, you know, you got your soul crushed, and
I met her online. She had a kid. I want to be a dad.
Yep.
I really want to be a dad, but I had her move in with me way too early. Don't do that, guys. But and then I was working my ass off and doing all this stuff for her, and then I kind of started, you know, feeling a little bit resentful of all the hard work I was putting in, not having it felt appreciated. And then I just started noticing, like, oh, hey, you're really hanging out with this friend, and you know, I'm trying to give her the benefit of the doubt because I don't want to be like just a cute. And then one day she just texted me, this isn't working. She left with the kid, and then 2 months later, she's like engaged to the guy, and as far as I'm aware, they're still married. But
yeah, and that's like I say, it kind of leads to a certain part of that is to a deal to. I had a conversation with my brother earlier today, my little brother, is that in my belief, in general, you know, not saying every freaking, you know, because people, you know, honestly, people are freaking getting offended because you know, when I talk about women, but I started off with the first time. Okay, I'll say it in general, right? Once, and that's what I mean. You know, I don't mean like, oh, I only meant that one little thing, you know, the whole thing. But in general, the women, like us, if a woman screws up in a relationship, right? Not saying, you know, to the end of the world screw up. I'm just saying do things that like screw it up. And you gotta, as a man, we always try to find excuses or ways to forgive them,
to make it work.
and make it work, to
move
we
don't
through.
Put any more effort.
Exactly. And to let it wash out.
We'd rather fix something that's not before it breaks.
Now, honestly, and this is my opinion, everything I've ever dealt with, I truly believe that women are, you know, just the way they think, and I don't mean they do it on purpose. That might be subconscious, but generally in women, they keep doing certain things to disqualify you. Even later on in the relationship, like a year later, if you screw up, they're looking to disqualify you when they
like
can.
Some people say, "Oh, that's just the patriarchy. That's the society." No, that's evolution.
Yes.
Like
they need to,
and that's men and women both. Like we look for women with bigger thighs because birthing hips. We say, "Oh, she got a fat ass," but like that's just like, "Oh, hey, she might be able to have kids easier." for women, you know, seeing like trying to disqualify things in guys, it's like, hey, I need to make sure that this guy is a good provider for any kids. And like, if you don't want to have kids, that's fine, but you're still subconsciously going to be looking for that. And by the way, to get on the subject of whether or not you're offended, I have to respect your opinion to care about whether or not you're offended.
Exactly. You know, it just
to throw that out there.
Yeah. I mean, anybody can have.
You are lucky the other guy is not here. If the other guy was here,
yeah, you think guys think I'm bad? You should just wait.
Wait till him and I are together. It is a shit show.
But it's a deal where, you know, the way I tried to explain it. I mean, men don't really ask for a whole lot, to be honest. We just ask for 2 or 3 things. We look for youth, beauty, and fertility. That's the main things we look for. If they have that, they've got a 90% shot. All they got to do is not be a complete disaster, right? And so they got that, and also the way the you know, everybody is like, oh, it's, you know, gender roles are gone and all this stuff, and I kind of get that, you know, with society. I mean, I kind of get it, but women still want that, and some men still want that, but they're trying to eliminate it in the middle. The reason why they were there in the first place, and it's going to be so hard to get rid of, is think about, you know, for a millennia, for freaking ever,
tens of thousands of years, it was one way, and then all of a sudden, there's gonna be and I am for one like okay with like women becoming more equal to men. You know, there's a lot of like,
I think they already are.
They are, and in some ways they're better, and in some ways I will say that women are better than men in certain aspects.
Just like you know, I'm not saying temper. Yeah, I'm not saying men are better than women. No. I'm as a human being.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not saying women are better than men or vice versa. You know, none of that.
And like to kind of go with the gender role thing, like, you know, there's been this like kind of push for women, like, oh, I want to be equal to the man I'm in a relationship. Well, no one's going to be equal in a relationship at all times. The man's going to be lesser, and because he's going to like maybe something will happen to him where he's just going to need time to get back to himself, the man that you love. And people, that's another thing.
This is the deal that what they want. They want equality. Right. You know, which equality means 50-50, both 50, or 100, you know, whatever you want it, however you want to look at it.
Equity, which is I want things provided for
me. And the thing is they want that, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, fine. So that means that, you know, let's say you're married, right? Yeah. You're married for 2 years. Mm-hmm. You guys are upstairs sleeping, and somebody kicks in the door.
Who the hell's going to be the one to go
you're going to roll over and say your turn and go back to sleep? Because we're equal, right? You got to go down and take care of the intruders.
No. I have that thing in the back of my head that makes me wonder whether or not I can do this. Let's go.
Yeah, well, you see what I'm saying, though? I mean, they want to be equal when it benefits them, and they want to be treated like a lady when it benefits them.
Women and children to the lifeboats.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they ain't gonna be sitting watching on the ship when it goes down. You know what I mean?
Suddenly, I'm kicking little Timmy off of the thing, like, oh, hey, equal rights.
Exactly, and it's just it's a completely. I mean, I get it. There, as a human beings, we are equal.
Yeah.
Well, you know, nobody's lesser than the other. We're equal.
Human beings, also men are expendable.
But exactly. But as that's a huge thing too.
That's a huge thing.
But the deal is that as a gender, you know, you break it up from being human to be into the genders. Mm-hmm. Okay, we're different.
Evolutionarily,
we're different.
I can't shit out a kid.
No, and we never will. That's something that women are amazingly, and we will never be as socially aware as they are.
Exactly.
You know, that's just like they're. I mean, I think it's just cool.
And don't die.
See you guys.
Yeah,
and you think, okay. You think I'm that bad?
The women's SWAT team busts in. Check your privilege.
But it's you know, but the thing is we're physically stronger. Mm-hmm. You can, you know,
and that's not I have met some women in the military who would beat the crap out of every single guy I know. But from an evolutionary standpoint, I mean, what was her name? Serena Williams.
Yes.
Serena Williams. Yes. She played up against a guy who was basically middle. Serena Williams, top of her league.
If I remember, he was like 230th, and he was hungover.
And he was hungover, and he mopped the floor with her.
Yep. Just because we are. Well, the thing is it doesn't mean that men are better because we're men.
We're built different.
No, we are physically superior you
We
know,
were meant to do different
to
things.
certain things. I mean, I mean,
It's not even, it's
facts
not
are
a superior
facts.
thing. We were built to do different things.
Yeah, and
like
fact, it's a fact.
We were meant to go out with the club and beat the saber-tooth tiger over the head while you hung out in the cave trying to make sure that we had children to keep the family going.
Exactly. I mean, and that's why I think women, like I say, when you talk about back in that, you know, in an evolutionary standard, I think that's why women always go for the most dominant or most capable, because they have to. I mean, women, it would be stupid for women to pick the average bum off a street and have kids. You know what I mean? Because I think, I mean, I get it. They should be hypergamous. They are. They should be. They should be able to want to pick somebody that's better because he's going to be able to provide when she is pregnant and vulnerable, when she needs to take care of the child.
When there's that vulnerability, you're going to need a partner who's actually
exactly. But and they can't deal with, you know, there's women that do. I mean, is it ideal? No. Do they want to? No.
Do I always want to be the one who has to wake up in the morning early to freaking make sure that everything's clean? Well, because you have morning sickness? No.
No. I mean, we deal with
I'm going to deal with it because I once again, I want to be a dad. Real son the bed. Hey, ladies.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I just got a new job.
making bank now.
Here soon.
Yep. And it's it's
this really did turn into one of those 90s fucking dating videos, didn't it?
Oh yeah, it's gonna be bad. But the thing with the women, and you, like I say, they should be hypergamous. I mean, I do not shame them in any way. I think that is right. Pick the best, because
pick the best for you.
And the thing that, like I say, the thing that most men are, and then women don't like. I mean, in an evolutionary sense, right? Men are, quote, programmed to have as many as we possibly can, to spread far and wide. But the women are programmed or designed to pick the very best. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Now, where it's starting to like kind of shift is women are starting to get a little bit more like open sexually, and cool.
But the deal is they're getting more. That's another thing. When they get it more openly sexually, though, that's unattractive. That's kind of repulsive.
Like if you have like 200 guys.
Like I said, put it this way. I mean, like for me, I mean,
whatever the hell you want, let that freak.
Yeah, everybody can, you know. Yeah.
But if you want to come to it, like say for instance, you sleep with 200 guys, and you want to come to a serious relationship,
you got a problem.
That's
not going to happen.
That part of your life needs to come to an end.
Well, it's not going to happen.
I will.
I'm telling you,
all the freaky stuff that you need, but if you want to be with me, that part of your life needs to come to an end.
Yeah, and
I'm not saying
there's a bunch of stuff about pair bonding that shows that they've done studies for years now that there's a couple things on that. When women have multiple partners, like multiple, they have a trouble pair bonding, and pair bonding is what is the lock between the genders to raise children. And it keeps them together. With men, it really doesn't affect men because we're not
built that way.
Yeah, we're not built that way.
To kind of give like a nature example.
But if you take what the study basically shows is any woman that has 10 or more, the percentage of a divorce jumps like 40%. If it goes 20 or more, it jumps further. If it is more than that, it's basically, it's not going to last. And it's because they're constantly, they have to be so emotionally connected that part never really leaves them. I mean, because it's different. We're external, they're internal. I mean, I completely understand and I completely get it. I mean, it makes sense to me. But they can never let that really leave. They always compare, or they always remember,
So
or
to
they
kinda-
always, this and that.
So to kind of like throw an example out there, so that anybody's like, oh, you're just you're defending the patriarchy. There's animals that do this too. Like, what's the
Oh
closest
yeah,
animal to us? Chimpanzees. There's male chimpanzees will fuck every single female chimp
yep.
in the troop.
But
It's not
the
just
women
us.
don't. The women,
don't.
yeah, the women, the men go out and do their thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But the women don't go around looking for it.
That's because the babies get killed.
Yeah, exactly.
Chimps are brutal.
Well, and the like I say, when you talk lions or whatever, when a lion comes in and takes over, he'll kill cubs.
Yeah. Nature's brutal. Like,
exactly.
We are very civilized.
And like I say, when I said, people got so mad, when I said single mothers just recreational use but the part they didn't understand, or that I said to begin with, was for a single man with no children.
It's hard to want to come in and raise those kids. And as speaking from somebody who's tried to do that.
Yeah.
It's emotionally damaging to, like, because especially if it doesn't work out.
Yeah.
I will tell you, it has never been colder in a house than after I got home from that work shift, and all of her stuff was gone. It was so cold, and like I had everything was temped up. All you lose a person that you felt that close to, and it's cold.
Yeah, and it's the thing is it's not just the child. I mean, we can talk just to begin with here. We'll just talk about child. The ups and downs of it. Okay. You want a child, so you'll be very accepting.
Yeah.
You want your own child, though.
Yeah, I want my own child too.
You want your own, for one. Okay.
I want the name. The blood.
Exactly, because that's what we're designed to do is further our legacy. Mm-hmm. That's what we're designed to do, further our lineage, I guess. But when even if you're accepting of it, and you don't have a problem, for one, you're going to have to deal with baby daddy.
Yeah. For
the rest of your life if you stay with this woman.
Which I think that aspect is getting easier, because I think divorced couples are actually younger divorced couples I've seen are better at co-parenting than older divorced couples.
Well, to a certain extent, the younger one, because there's not so much animosity.
Because
there's not so much money.
Of a thing when my parents were bringing me up.
There's not so much money gone either.
Well, that too. But like I said, like divorce was kind of a newer thing when my parents. Like, I don't have a memory of my parents being together.
Yep.
Like they got divorced that young, and it's weird when they're in the same room together. But now I got friends who get divorced, have kids, and they're just fine. Mommy and daddy didn't work out now.
Yeah. The deal
they don't hate each other.
It's just like you. I mean, in a general sense, if you're just thinking it off the cuff, if somebody gets divorced young and early, well, to give a woman 10 grand because you divorced and she took, you have to pay, whatever, versus 15, 20 years of divorce and you got to pay 150,000. Mm-hmm. Okay. Now
I resent you.
Now understand the difference of and the deal is
my dad still owes about 150 for me and my sister.
Child
support.
I am not kidding. There is such a, it's strange that women want to be so equal, but they don't want these laws to change.
Yep.
Because, they're like, you have to take care of your child. Well, I'll take care of I take care of my children.
I think alimony is such bullshit.
It is.
It is alimony. Like Joe Rogan was talking about a guy, like he had a friend on who got divorced, and they haven't been together in 15 years, and yet he's still paying 150 some odd $1,000 a year, and she's already married another guy, and like that's bullshit. That's bullshit.
You
like I get it if the guy was just like your entire financial world, because you wanted to be the stay-at-home mom and all that stuff, and he wanted that stay-at-home wife, but for whatever reason you divorced, and like you kind of get kicked out on your ass. Like, okay, for maybe a year or two he can keep you steady, keep you on your feet, but after a couple of years that should end.
Yeah. Well, and the worst thing about this is that's all forced. Now, not in every case, but I know some wealthy people, okay, that they've dated and were married for a short time, and the woman didn't do anything.
Any of them loaded people single in?
And they didn't really do anything. They were at the house. They were, they didn't have kids, and they were just kind of shopping and doing, the typical rich wife, which is nothing wrong with. I'm not judging.
Ladies,
But once
guys,
they
do whatever you want that makes you happy. Just don't make the other person miserable.
Exactly. And the deal is once they, the relationship came to an end, whether they were married or not, the guy is completely willing to support them for a year or two.
Yeah.
Voluntarily until they get the courts in to force them. And usually they get less because, it's still a lot of money. Don't get me wrong.
Lawyer fees.
Because the guy, they're all like, oh, he's this, no. Now if she goes out and bangs the, garbage guy, or whatever. Okay. Yeah. She getting, she gets zero. She getting zero and she getting, kicked out. But if it just didn't work or, their relationship kind of broke down, whatever. I know that I've been privy, I guess, to some conversations and stuff that, they, they'll give them $10,000 a month.
Yeah.
Just to live.
Yeah. If you're capable of
and until they get established and, and they're in good terms and everything. Yeah. But women,
if there's kids involved, I'm sorry, but when you get divorced, you two don't matter.
No,
you two do not matter. The only thing that matters in that is the kids.
I'll take it a step back. Even when you have kids,
you don't matter.
Your happiness doesn't matter.
Yeah,
your kids, your parenting of the kids matter. There should be no divorce.
See, ladies, I want to be unhappy. I want kids.
Well, yeah. There's nothing wrong with it. It really is. And I think every man has. Well, not every. I think a good majority of men have an urge to have children.
Yeah.
They just these days are having a very hard time finding
someone who's worth having kids with. I'm sorry, I'm not getting divorced.
Yeah, a worthy candidate.
I am the son of a triple divorcee dad and a triple divorcee mom. My dad is on wife number 4.
Yeah,
your punch card's good. You're good, Dad. But
I think that one way to do it is obviously, and the deal is
I'm in together after a month.
No, don't do that.
Don't do that shit. Learn from me, guys. Learn from me.
It's the thing is I think what like I say women looking on here are missing is I'm not just talking negative and shit about women. I'm pulling all the crap out about them. I talk shit about men too.
Yeah,
I do. If he's a worthless bum,
exactly.
And won't get a damn job, or he works, and makes freaking $15,000 a year, or he's fat, or he just doesn't care.
Or to flip it to the other extreme, if he is literally working like 18-hour days, never spends any time at home, and he talked up a big game of how he wanted to like always be around you. Yeah. That's scummy too.
Yeah, but don't go for that guy. They're worthless.
Don't go for either extreme. Don't go for the workaholic, but don't go for the bum.
Exactly. Now, the deal is most of them go to, like I say, hypergamy is a thing.
Mm-hmm.
It really is. So they have a hard time with that. Women always want, it doesn't matter what they make. And that's another part of it is women are pricing themselves right out of the market. Because a woman always wants a man that's going to make what she does or more. I think it's like the average when they did the studies,
to earn more than men.
Exactly. They figure that the average of what they want more is like 56%. I believe that's the number.
I think there's a couple studies. There's more women in college right now than men, and there's more single women who own their own houses than men, than single men.
Now,
that is by the way, from flipping this back to the military, if you've ever seen any country's history where the men are outnumbering women and they are unhappy and they are unsuccessful in their lives, look at Iraq.
Yeah.
Look at Iraq and Syria. That is a recipe for disaster. I don't want that to happen here.
No.
But that is a recipe for disaster.
And the deal is when you talk about money and like I'll say what I always say, there's not all women are gold diggers. There's a small percentage that are. Everybody knows it. Otherwise we wouldn't know it's a thing.
We wouldn't know it. Right? It wouldn't have been a song.
Exactly. But every one of them is born with a shovel.
Yep.
And they're looking, they are. The problem is they don't understand. They just, for some reason, they still got this, idea that there's a wage gap. So they think that Oh yeah, I know, it's crazy.
Still,
I know,
still
it's crazy.
bothers the piss out of me
It's
that people
retarded.
talk about that.
Well, and then they think there's a wage gap, so they think whatever they make, men make more, so they should be able to get whether he's making more, that kind
When
of
you think
general
you're the victim,
attitude.
you're unwilling to try.
Exactly. So when you get, let's say a woman is out and she is doing moderately, right?
Mm-hmm.
She's 50, 60 grand, right? She wants a guy that makes 80 to 100.
Or equal to.
At minimum, at the bare minimum is equal to.
Mm-hmm.
She ain't even gonna, if she's making 60.
The women who I've had conversations with who do make that, and they want to make more, they tend to want to go back to being housewives.
Oh yeah,
that's my experience, people. My experience.
Yes.
Once again, I don't give a fuck if you're offended.
Yeah, exactly. And no, they do but the thing is they're not going to, because let's say they make 60 grand,
mm-hmm.
right? Let's just throw a number out, 60 grand. Around here it is. Put it away. Around here it is.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
But in other parts of the country,
that ain't shit.
But
that's not an incentive for people to move out here. I want to keep prices low, please.
Like I say, they get 60 grand. Mm-hmm. They won't even look a guy that makes like 45. They won't even look his way. They won't even, because the analogy that or the whatever saying mm-hmm. that people use is a king will go take a peasant and make her a queen.
But a queen will never take a peasant and make a king.
Will never make a peasant
a king.
Or even look a peasant's way.
And for you ladies who have built a guy up from nothing, you are a special kind of woman. And
and that's great.
If it doesn't work out, what's up?
Yeah, well, the deal is they build, and there are women that do that, and they do. But I tell you what, they're jaded from it. Of this they don't ever go with a bum again.
The title of this should be Landon's dating pitch.
Oh yeah, but they I'm serious. Women do not. Yeah. Once they do that for a man, and they invest 3, 4, 5 years building him up.
Yeah.
And he gets there, let's say, right? And and then he ditches her, which I'm not saying to do that, guys.
Don't be that.
Like I say, it's one thing, but it's a whole nother thing to take 4 or 5 years from a person's life and just kind of ditch them. That's not right. Even I have fucking standards. Okay.
Yeah.
I have a limit.
Standards. If this guy says you have fucked up, you have fucked up.
Yeah. There's but they
am I dropping too many F-bombs, by the way?
No, it don't matter. No.
Yeah, fair enough.
Fuck them fucking fuckers. So we but
from I feel like I heard that in a movie somewhere.
Well, yeah, I can't remember where in the heck it was.
It was that fucking video about like the word fuck, and like they were describing how it's just every
freaking, you can use it in everything. Yep.
The fuck the fucking fuckers.
Yep. They but it's a serious thing when for women, and like I say, I get it. They shouldn't be looking for bums. They shouldn't be looking. They should be looking for somebody that's established, somebody that's confident, somebody that's can help, can move, can be more
established. I'm working to become established.
Yes, but I tell you what, this change, you're it's a huge step. You're on your way. You're on your way now. The thing is you took all the steps, mentally to get yourself to this point.
Yeah.
And now you're just going to reap the benefits. And that's the cool part.
So to kind of give people some context, for the last 8 years of my life, I've been working healthcare. I took care of old people, and then I went on to moved on to taking care of adults with disability. It's good for the soul, not good for the pocketbook.
No.
And when something's not good for the pocketbook, no matter how good for the soul it is, it eventually drags your soul down.
It does. And
don't get me wrong, I love the people I take care of. I'm still going to be visiting them a lot.
And well, the deal is it affects men different than women. Mm-hmm. It does, because we're expected
to make more.
Not just make more, we're expected to go out in the world and achieve. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And one metric, one of the major metrics of achieving is money.
Yeah.
And it's just expected. Mm-hmm. So when we don't do that, that's a major hit.
But caveating that, ladies, I know how to change a diaper.
Well,
been doing it for 8 years.
Oh boy.
For a living. I'm ready and willing. Ladies, a lot of these guys a lot of guys are scared to change a diaper. I will not understand that. You brought that kid into this world. The very bare bones minimum at least you can do is change the fucking diaper.
Oh yeah,
for once in a while.
Oh yeah, and like say, ladies,
clean the puke up. Wake up with the baby.
Here's Mr. Mom. So you know, Mr. Mom.
Once again, the title of this podcast is Landon's dating pitch.
Darn right, but it's deal with like changing diapers and and taking care of the kid. Honestly, in general, okay.
In general, it's going to be the woman's job is if she's a stay-at-home mom
until the kid is about 8-9 years old.
Mm-hmm. Then
the father kicks in.
Mm-hmm.
The father's going to take primary from then on.
Mm-hmm.
The mother just nurtures and does, but the father is going to instill discipline, instill work ethic, instill leadership, drive, confidence. Whether it's a daughter or son, it doesn't matter. That it's basically like you. Did you grow up in both your parents together?
No, like I said, my parents were divorced before I had a memory.
Okay.
I don't remember my mom and dad being together.
You lived with your mother?
I lived with my mom, and then weekends with dad, and then the summer I would spend quite a bit of the summer with my dad.
Okay, so just take
pretty much typical divorce.
Yeah, exactly. That's the way it was for the longest time. So just take this little scenario, Yeah. Okay, when you're like 5-6 years old, mom tells you knock something out, you're knocking it off, right? When you are 15,
if dad tells you to knock something off, he knocks it off for you.
Exactly. The thing is, when you're 15, and your mom's like, you might give her a little attitude or a little pushback. You might not do it, but when dad comes home around that corner, you fucking do it because there's consequences. You're just as big as her at that point.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so physically, and I know it sounds horrible, but I mean, it does. It's a thing. Physically, there's not really any consequences to it. When dad comes around the corner, you damn well. That's the difference between dealing with a woman and dealing with a man. Just like
there were times when I was like in high school when I was, because in high school I was spending more time at home with my mom because, whatever. My mom would, she would knock my ass out every once in a while.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, the deal is you're never going to touch your mother.
No, you're not. And so she gets kind of free reign.
Yeah,
she throws that frying pan the right way.
The deal is you're never going to touch your mother, and there's no other man that's ever going to touch your mother. You know what I mean?
Threw a frying pan at me. My sister totally did.
Yeah. It's a real thing. It's just, in another scenario, instead of a son and a mother, take it, let's say you're NFL lineman.
Yeah.
Big, 6'8", I don't know, what are they, 350s, 360? I mean, big son.
Big old son bitches.
Nobody wants to mess with them. No. You know what I mean? They big. All right. If you're that, you're still going to have women that are pissed off at you, coming over, hitting you, slapping you, pushing you, charging, and you're never going to touch them. You're never going to touch them, right?
Because it always looks bad when you do it.
And they can hit, right? They can hit, they can kick, they can yell. They shouldn't, but they get away with it, right? Because they know you're never going to do anything.
If you want equal rights, I will give you equal lefts.
Exactly, but
watch that blow.
Yeah, I know that'll be bad. Yeah, but if you at the same time you take the woman out of there and you have a average man. Come over and start trying the same thing, he's going to get knocked the fuck out.
Yep, he's going to get knocked the fuck out.
There's fucking consequences. Women know that there ain't consequences.
So remember the other night where there was that one lady who she was
the one that
basically sexually assaulting Tev.
Yeah.
We all there was kind of like okay, let's get her away from us, but we should probably keep an eye on her because that's a charge waiting. That's a certain type of charge waiting to happen.
Yeah.
It's protecting her. It's guys are willing to protect others, protect people that they don't know. I have never met that woman.
No.
But I also know okay, she's going to need help. And then I have to put in that calculus of, okay, if I help, am I going to look like the weirdo here? Am I going to look like the bad guy here?
Yeah.
Because if I'm going to have it scream at this lady to get into a fucking car later, then that's going to look a certain type of way.
I came into a situation a couple years ago, kind of explained, you kind of know the people involved. We were at our spot And
That spot, by the way.
yeah, we were, well, the thing is, we were up by where the sign is,
Yeah.
leaning up against the wall. And this gal that wanted more than what I was willing, I told her,
Yeah.
and she would take no for an answer. I mean, so she came up and literally, I'm against the wall. She literally came right up to my face, like 2 inches away, and just stood there and started going off on whatever she wanted to yap about. Devin, he seen it. He actually come over and he was trying to stick his hand in there and kind of get in the middle and say, hey, like that. Literally, she just put her hand in her face and pushed him, and kept talking. Right. Well, what are we going to do? I can't hit her. I can't push her. Neither can Tevin. Abby.
Yep.
She came all the way across the room. All the way across the room. I mean, all the way across. Well, see, now once Abby got there and kind of pushed her back, there was a whole different demeanor that gal. Mm-hmm. That gal was listening then.
Have a short, angry girl because on your side. It works out.
She was listening then because she knows between the two women, there's consequences.
By the way, guys, you are not obligated to sleep with a woman just because she looks interested in you. If you do not have any attraction, you're not obligated to sleep with her.
Well, no, but
no.
Generally,
I have one freaking specific instance in mind where I was just not attracted to this person, and everybody was like, "No, take her home." Yeah, Skunky,
okay,
Skunky.
Yep.
I'll call her Skunky for right now. God, damn.
Yeah, I know. I remember why you said
there was a pH imbalance somewhere.
things was ripe.
Things was ripe. There was some cheese from under there.
Yep. Didn't bother checking for roast beef.
I couldn't.
No.
I couldn't accomplish the mission.
No.
Could not accomplish the mission.
Yeah. No.
Kicked her out.
Yeah, it was a bad thing.
And all were just like, oh, just she's interested in you. I'm like, I'm not in her.
Yeah.
So, guys, you don't have to take everyone home.
But there really is a big thing, and like I say, this is why this podcast is out here to help guys to improve.
Yeah.
They don't have to. I'm going to tell you everything that's true, whether people like it or not. Now, does everybody have to take 100% of what I say and apply it to their life? No, they can pick and choose what fits their life and what makes them happy and what they choose that fits what they're looking for and what they feel they want to do. But everybody's going to be different and take it. So I can't just say, I mean, we all know there is women out there that like submissive men. But they're what, 1%? 2 maybe? So, what do you want me to have a podcast to explain? There's women.
I even know a woman like that. I actually do know a chick who.
Yes.
Who
I know. Yeah, I know her. It was funny. Because it was. Yeah.
They're great people separate. They're great people
they
apart from each other. They would never work out.
No, hell
they would never work.
They would never.
Never. Not that they didn't try.
But it was a thing that even.
I'm going to be working for one.
Is there men out there that love women with children
who take charge? Yes.
Well, you know what I mean? That love women with children. Yep. That's their thing. Okay. Women, if you find guys like that, vet them extra long and extra hard. I think we can all see where this could be.
Yeah.
Concerning, to a certain point, but there's other than maybe a sickness, there is a small percentage that actually want that, and they're not sick, they're not deranged, they're not looking for something that's nasty, right? But that's small. That's small.
So small.
I mean, small
percentage.
So, I mean, I just really get over the years, and like I said, that's another thing. You get the misconceptions. Women tell you, "Oh, this is what it is," and "Oh, this," but you've watched it not be real the whole time. They want benefits on both sides.
None of the responsibilities.
They want to take no accountability for anything. I mean,
you want equal rights, ladies? Register for the draft.
How can we simply
Sorry about that.
I mean, more simply put it, that when you have a kid as a single mother, right? When you have a kid as a single mother, your dating market value will decrease.
But the guy who does see you, who does want to pursue you, that's a guy who, unless he is that type of weirdo who deserves to go into a wood chipper feet first.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
The guy who actually like wants to go into your life and like be that father figure for those kids. That's a rare man.
It is. I'm saying it's a rare man. And the thing is she needs to be a better woman than the average to keep you. Women, put it this way, women can attract any man. You know what I mean? An average woman can probably attract 80% of the population with, at any given time, without question. They can. But can she retain him?
Exactly. I was looking for the word.
Yeah, that's the problem. They don't understand that they have a hard time retaining. Now.
Yeah, it's now to the point where women actually have to step up their game instead.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying, but I mean, think about it. Okay. Think about all the things. A woman, let's say the guy's a complete loser, right? The guy's a complete loser. Fed her this game, fed her this bullshit. She ended up getting pregnant, and then the truth came out, and he was gone. Yeah. Okay. Let's just say that's the situation.
It happens.
It happens.
I mean, guys will never admit that they slept with a loser, because if we slept with somebody that we're not attracted or that we don't see anything with, we're done.
Yeah.
We're just like, all right, see you later.
Yeah.
But we sleep with losers all the time, and I think guys need to be a little bit more open with that.
Yeah, we can sleep with. That's the problem. Is we can sleep with anything and we don't care. I mean, not anything, but you know what I mean? I've even slept with women that I hate.
Yeah.
I mean, I hate them.
Yeah.
I don't want to be around them.
Yeah.
I don't want nothing to do with them.
But you just
still went busting nut. You know
exactly.
What I mean?
You just need to go in and do, just.
I did my thing. I was like, next, moving on.
Man, that breeze got me up to attention.
Well, it's different. And I don't think that, like I say, that it
takes a whole new term.
And the deal is sex is not a fucking like a huge bonding thing for us until we find the right woman.
Right key now to right hole.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Once we find one we actually care, we actually have a serious
connection,
want to be. Now the sex is different. It is.
Oh yeah, it is.
It really is. But in general, sex is just, we don't really, it's like taking a piss.
Yep, exactly.
I mean, we just bust, not move on. We don't care.
That is literally the only enjoyable part. Like that type of sex, the woman enjoys that more.
Yes.
100%. That is more for the woman than the guy, because the guy literally, unless we're like we want to please you and stuff, we're just trying to do what we want to do. It's literally just us trying to and get out.
Well, see, now you're going to get me in a world of trouble.
Now that noise is going to be on the internet forever.
Yeah, you're going to get me in a world of trouble bringing that up. Because I haven't said this on the podcast yet.
Go ahead. Go. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Yeah. Well, I say the woman's pleasure or orgasm is secondary or optional for a man. It doesn't matter. Now, I'm not saying that a man shouldn't try.
The angry typing.
Oh, yeah. I mean, here it goes. I'm not saying a man shouldn't try, right? But look at it. Look what he had to already bring to even be attracted. All the work he had to put in. And what did she have to do? Look pretty. That's it. She didn't have to have any accolades. She could be nothing. She just looked good. That's what she brings.
Hyping myself up because this is the Landon's, the Landon's dating pitch. I actually have the exact opposite problem. It's hard for me to arrive, if you will.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's. I've heard some stuff.
I will never leave you unsatisfied.
Yeah. Every woman's a little different.
Yeah.
But
I do not get how guys find it hard to make a woman arrive. I don't either. Get that.
But the thing is like I say, if it's just a quickie, you know what I mean? If you know what I mean? If you ever get to just like you're busy, you just want a quick or whatever the deal is, you don't, it's optional.
Fold her in half and go to Pound Town. It's really
it's optional. You'll worry about it later.
Yeah.
She is going to be extremely satisfied that
she's not going to talk.
But no, like I say,
for like 5 minutes.
she is going to be extremely happy that you finished, even if she doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you do that every single time,
you're
okay, you got a problem. I mean, you do have to.
If you cannot physically satisfy a woman, I'm sorry, but maybe don't consider dating.
There you go. It's bad. And I'm not saying, everybody takes it as I think women are less than, and I don't. We're just different.
Foreplay's not always a must.
No.
Sometimes you just want to hit it, quit it, and move on with
your
your day.
And the thing is like, honestly, I know it sounds horrible, women. I know. I mean, I get it, but it's the truth. Sometimes being horny.
Yep.
Is it distracting?
Yes. Oh my fuck! Like trying to find the socially acceptable time to manage your boner is the worst thing ever. Like I've had times where I've like had to take a bathroom break just to go fix it, and then I come back and I'm like, fuck, I gotta pee, but I just went to the bathroom.
If you have a dry spell for a week or two,
a year.
Oh no.
Yeah, ladies. Again,
at times is it hard to concentrate?
Yes, very.
But once you bust, clarity. Right? If you get say. You got clarity for 24 or 36 hours, you know?
You don't know what the hell you're doing, then suddenly, I fucked up. You stick your dick in crazy. That's what happens.
No, I mean, let's think about this situation. You're dating somebody. She was gone for 2 weeks on a vacation or seeing her mother or whatever the deal is. Well, I mean, me, I would be different, but that's a whole nother podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't want to start. That's a can of worms. Not today. Put it that way. We'll get there. But
stay tuned for part 2 of the pitch.
Yeah, exactly. Stay tuned. All the keyboards are on fire.
Oh my God. There's gonna be a SWAT team busting on that door.
But the deal is she gone for a week or two, and you're used to because you're with her, so you're used to kind of consistent. It's distracting.
Yeah,
it's distracting. Yeah. It really is. And like I say, you're busy, and let's say she gets home like 10 in the morning. You're at work, and she comes to see you like, let's just do quick. You know what I mean? You're just gonna. If
you're coming home after 2 weeks, I'm sorry, but that's not quickie material. That is like kids go to the fucking backyard for like an hour. Mommy.
Well, the deal is like when it's appropriate, But I'm just like say, hey. If she's there at 10 in the morning and she comes seeing you at lunch or you go home for lunch or whatever the deal is, and you got like a half hour and driving and all that, let's get this initial.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And then tonight we're going to worry about doing it right.
There's actually a lot to be said there because some women you do need to prime that engine.
True.
That's why I say like foreplay isn't necessary. It's a good start.
Yes.
For both sides, women.
Yeah, no, they don't care about us.
No, fuck that. Fuck that.
Care.
Cup. You can throw a cup in there once every.
Trust me, you know how many women, and don't get me wrong, I don't mind doing it.
Yeah.
I don't mind showing a woman how to proceed, to please, to do things, and I don't have any problem with it. But the part I have a problem with is the ones like, oh no, I got this. Oh no, I know what I'm doing. Oh no, you do.
Ladies, you actually don't know how to please us more than we know how to please ourselves.
Yeah.
Like
I'm sure
when a guy is grabbing your head, that's because you're not doing your job and he wants to arrive.
Well, and the thing is, I'm sure on the other hand, there's a lot of men that they have that don't really know how
to use their,
and we get that.
And that's why a lot of younger women go for older guys.
Exactly.
By the way, what do you think is an appropriate dating range age group?
25, 30.
Fair enough. No, that's legitimate. Like I would say
age gap.
Age gap, 25 years. 25 years?
Why not?
For you, that's like in high school. For me, that's like
no. I'm older than that.
No. So for me, for younger
nothing illegal.
In your 30s, I would say the appropriate is like meet them in a bar. They need to be able to drink.
Oh, yeah. It's what is the deal? I mean, for me, I'm different. I mean,
built alternatively.
You kind of know, you've been around.
Yeah.
I'm different.
I didn't know your name for the first year.
Yeah, you kind of know. You know, like how the fuck and what the fuck.
I just was like,
I
one day
get it a
Kevin like was talking to this old guy, and I'm just like, okay, cool. He kind of looks like John Elway or Dan Marino, and I was just like, yeah, that's your nickname. Because until I know your name, you get a nickname in the bar.
Yep. And so yeah, I mean, I pull a lot of young, you know. And
yeah, you do. Lucky bastard.
I know it. And don't get me wrong, I guess an anomaly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because that's why this is out, because I do know this stuff. So that's why I'm, you know, trying to teach, you know, and at least advise or at least inform or whatever, and people to try to make men better. And the thing is, it's for women's benefit. The better men are.
Women, he's trying to give you the orgasms. Come on.
The better men are, the more better men women have to select from. So in turn, it's not to bash women, but it's also a cheat sheet for women.
Yeah.
If they find a guy that they want, and they want to beat out any other woman that's interested, I'm telling you how.
That here at Landon's Dating Pitch, Part 1. Yeah,
I'm telling you how. I mean, I'm giving them the cheat sheet that other women don't get. You know, it's like, you know, you figure that, you know, guys ain't attractive. You know, there's a few.
We're not. Honestly, I don't know how many of packages you have looked at, but working in healthcare, you look at them, and it's just like,
well, I mean,
it makes me not believe it.
Even physically, really, I mean, are we really?
No.
I mean, in general, there's probably like 90% of men barely make average, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, exactly. And then you'll still see those average looking dudes with 10 out of 10s.
Exactly.
And that's because they're either funny. Once again, guys, don't discount how funny can work in your favor. But they bring that X factor that a woman wants.
Well,
they bring that stability.
There's that, you know, it's just different what genders look for. Us, like I said, we look for youth. We like young women because they're more fertile, they're more beautiful.
And thank God, dad bods are in freaking fashion right now.
You know, then like I say, then we want, you know, youth, beauty, and fertility. That's the main thing. That if they have those three things, that's like 70%. They're good. You know. If they fuck it all up because their attitude or whatever, then that's on them. You know, that's all it takes to get in the door. You know what I mean? That's it. That's it. Now, women, looks matter, but us, like, if we had a list, you know, looks are number one. Okay, looks are number one. Now, on a woman, looks maybe number 3, 4. You know, if he has other attributes that are better.
I've always, whenever I've talked about this with other women, they've always said like, oh, he needs to be able to hold on in a conversation. And that's where I struggle. Like, I'll admit, I struggle to like even approach a woman anymore these days.
You've
seen this.
Yeah, I know.
You have seen this like with your own eyes.
Yeah. And like I say, that's a lot of the things I get when I, like say, you've seen it.
I'm getting there.
I walk up and I approach, I do the thing, blah, blah, blah. I walk away with their number or I walk out with them, you know. And people are like, what the fuck? How did you? And I'm like, dude, well, what did you say? You can say anything to a woman.
Yeah.
Anything. Yeah. The only thing is you have to be very confident, very solid about what you say. Yeah. You do not be insulting. Do not be insulting in any way. Yeah. Stay away from politics. Stay away from religion. Talk about things that are very real, but stay away from employment, you know, other than touching, because, you know, touching on it, you know what I mean?
You got to explain like, oh, hey, I do this.
Yeah. And like, well, there's nothing wrong with like, say, if she's like, oh, well, what do you do for a living? Well, you know, I work in finance as a bank manager, you know, it's kind of fun. But, you know, last year I went to Germany and you know what I mean? Just get away from, okay, she already knows. Let her think of that in her head. You might be a bank, you know, that executive or whatever, you might make 40 grand a year. Yeah. But when she hears that, she's thinking, oh, 80 to 100. Let her think that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Let her. Yeah. Just leave it to her own. They'll fill in the blanks. If they like you, they'll fill in the blanks to be whatever you need to be with you. Okay. Yeah. So it's, you know, stay away from certain subjects, but be direct without being insulting. you know, be firm without being arrogant and overbearing, which there's a fine line. It's
There's
hard.
such a fine
It's
line between
hard to
arrogance
find
yeah.
right there. And some guys, they build up to it, and then they cross it, and they're like, oh, well, this doesn't work. Well, no, you got to back it up just a touch. Okay, there you go. Now you need to start adding this, and then you have to be interesting.
Yep.
You can't be just the generic guy that if any guy in the place can come up and tell her the same things, you're generic.
Yep.
Be interesting. Have
funny.
something. Be funny.
Funny
and have a story.
Have a story. Okay. Yeah.
Now, the story has to have a point, not just a funny story, because any guy can tell a funny story. You got to have a interesting story that is profound, in a way to talk about a relationship. And it's weird. We'll talk about a couple of them. I got a few.
Yeah.
So it'll give you something to kind of break the ice and kind of do things. But
I got a few stories that I can probably throw out there. It's just I lost a lot of confidence over the last few years just because I was burnt out with my job, and then if you're not happy in other aspects of your life, you're not going to be happy trying to find somebody.
Yeah, and honestly, the confidence is huge when it comes to women. Confidence is above. Confidence might be number one.
Confidence is probably number one.
If it's not, it's definitely a freaking right there. Well, no, it's a number two, but it's the same equal value as number one. You know what I mean? It's confidence is the thing. If you are just confident and you got to exude it. It's got to, women, you can't fake shit around women.
No, you cannot.
You can't. I mean, they sniff that shit out in a heartbeat. They're
really good at sniffing out bullshit.
And they need to be, and I think that's from evolution, that they needed to be hypersensitive of the situations and their surroundings to be able to pick all this up because they were the weaker gender. You know what I mean? Not saying they were bad people or worth less or anything. They were just physically weaker. Yep. So men were faster. They were stronger. They could fight off, whatever. And women just needed to be sensitive for a protection factor. And they still are today. They can, they can walk into a room and sit and literally scan, and boom, they know generally what everybody is. Us, we walk in, we ain't got a clue. We was like, well, that guy looks weird, but whatever, But that's all we get. They already know, oh, no, we can't talk to him. He's weird. No, can't talk to him. He's got this deal. Oh, no, he's married. Oh, no, he's a player. Oh, no, they already know. They just generally know right off the bat.
I think it doesn't help, like, the bar that we go to doesn't help my chances, at least.
No, and
the music's too loud, and then it gets too crowded.
It's all about time too, and like I say, is the bar the best place to pick them up? No. There's a lot of other places that are a lot better. The deal, what the bar is going to teach you.
I'll be at Barnes and Noble Friday night.
Well, what the bar will teach you, and talking to the podcast, and I'll talk to you about things, and but what this is going to teach you is to build that confidence to be able to cold approach somebody. Now, once you are comfortable with that, and you're like, okay, I got this, I'm good, I got it, I'm not acting like a weirdo, I'm not this. Yeah. Okay, now you can just do it Saturday afternoon walking down the street. Which is a lot better place, to be honest. Yeah. Or at a coffee shop, or a bookstore, or a grocery store, or what, as long as you get by, you learn not to be creepy and weird. Okay, when you do this out, okay, you're not creepy and weird, it's cool. Yeah. Now, if you don't learn not to be creepy and weird at the bar, where it's not socially acceptable, but it's kind of like, we're going to get away from you, and it's acceptable enough just to walk away, that when you start doing it out, it causes some serious problems. So you have to work on your approach, your being, your way, whatever you want to say, at a place, and it helps if you have other people that are involved because I always say I can go out or you, like say as one person can go out and you're going to keep doing this, doing this, doing this, doing this. And at some point you're going to be like, I'm doing everything and I don't understand it. I've done everything every which way, but it's not working. Well, if you were with a friend that was kind of doing the same thing, you could be like, oh dude, you're doing this. Stop it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you could do the same to him and you guys can work off each other and your growth in it will be twice, 3 times as fast.
Yeah.
So it's good to have more than just out by yourself. Mm-hmm. But once you get it,
you can do it by yourself.
Then it's best to be by yourself.
And see, that's what I had in Germany, because I would, don't do this if you do, but I have the weirdest sense of luck when it comes to like putting myself in dumb situations. Don't go to a foreign country and be out drinking by yourself. But
no,
I could have been on Al Jazeera like so many times. Yeah. But no, I would go up and I had a lot more confidence. Once again, was in a lot better shape and just had a bit of a like I'm bigger than I fucking really am attitude, and that's gone away in recent years because
life has beat you down.
Life has beat me down a little bit, but now I've made some new decisions. Going to be working for certain individuals who've been here before. I'll be the round one.
No, well, like I say, I mean, and it takes it. Yeah. Even for you, like I say, we've known each other for a while.
Yeah, about 4 years now.
And even a year in, you wouldn't have took any of my advice.
No, I wouldn't have.
No, I mean,
I didn't.
And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, that's
no one's advice.
Yeah, and I mean that's and most men are like that. I mean, that's completely cool. But once you get to a point and you've seen it in action, you're like, okay, I don't know what the fuck he's doing.
Turning 30 does something to a guy.
It does.
Well, actually, I don't think 30 hit me nearly as hard as 31 hit me like a freight train.
There's
like 31. I turned 31 and a couple days later, I'm looking in my apartment, 1-bedroom apartment with a fucking cat. And don't get me wrong, I love the cat, but I'm just like, I'm unhappy. Like I'm genuinely unhappy. Like I cannot talk to a woman now and say I got a lot to offer. I can't do that.
And there is a thing about that, like say 30 for both genders. Women, when they turn 30,
biological clock is going down, and
that's the wall.
For guys, it's the I got to be successful in a certain amount of time.
That's the launching pad.
That's the I need to be successful here soon, or I'm not gonna
be able to procreate.
Yeah, exactly.
It's women hit the wall and they dive. They're from that point on.
Mm-hmm. You either dive or thrive as a guy in your 30s.
Yeah.
And I am determined to thrive.
And generally, the ones that do thrive, right? You notice that
some tough decisions.
You notice that all these women are locking them down about 27, 28, 29.
Like you
know what I mean? They lock them down just before they take off in their success. That women aren't stupid.
No, they're not.
They figure this shit out. They're very intelligent.
And like to kind of bring it back to where like I turned 31. I got so scared of like any sort of change in my late 20s because I was just like, okay, well, this works for right now. Well, now that I'm 31, I'm like, okay, well, these things aren't working out for me anymore. Like they just genuinely aren't. And it doesn't matter how happy like the day-to-day makes me. If I'm overall generally just unhappy with what I'm doing, I won't make enough money. You can't like, and I wasn't making enough money to begin with, but now I'm getting told like I won't be able to spend it fast enough.
Yeah.
But once again, Landon's dating pitch. But when you turn 30, guys, you're gonna have to make an maybe if you're not where you want to be, you're gonna have to make some uncomfortable decisions and make some. Am I passionate about what I'm going to be doing? Not necessarily, but I know it's gonna be something that's gonna be good for me.
You're going to at least financially be successful. Exactly. Now, is it something you do not want to do? No. I mean, now, guys, if you're doing something, I'm going to go over here to make a bunch of money, but I don't want to do it.
Then don't do that.
Then don't do that. But if you're like,
if it's something
I'll go try it and see what it's like,
if it's something you're moderately interested in, like driving vehicles for me, like, spoiler alert, I'm going to be driving trucks for you guys. Like it's something like okay, I can do this and I'm not going to be miserable. Am I going to be like, oh yeah, this is going to be my meaning in life? No, I've already told you guys what I want to do with, like, if I ever strike it rich or get to a place where I'm comfortable, I want to be around big ass fucking cats that can rip me in half.
See, and like I say, when you talk about what you did or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
So the deal, one of the quick deals is titles matter.
Titles matter
to women.
Titles matter to women. Like,
so you are not truck driver.
No.
When you talk, well, what do you do? Well, I'm a transportation specialist. Yep. And then you just move on to whatever and let her just
add the title. Yeah. Like you said, like, don't say what it is you actually do. Because if you're like, say for instance,
women like a little mystery.
Exactly.
They do.
Exactly. Like, I was a quote unquote direct support professional. If I'd have led with that, I probably would have been a little bit better.
Yeah.
But I just was saying, oh yeah, I work with people with special needs.
Which I tell you what, even I'm never going to shame anybody for doing. I mean, that's admirable.
It's a rough job.
It's rough. I completely 100%. And for people to do that stuff is admirable. And it takes a certain kind of person.
I would say it was tougher than the military for me, at least.
It takes a certain type.
Don't go, if you have a passion to help people, go into that field, but understand there's gonna be days where you're gonna be more miserable than you were happy. Yeah. And there's gonna be weeks there were weeks where I walked in dreading going into that place because I knew this person's about to die.
Yeah.
Like, this person is on their last leg, and I've been with this person for years.
And that takes a toll on a person in a
6 years, 7
horrible
funerals.
Mental way that you don't even know.
6 years, 7 funerals just with the job, and then throw on the 3 family funerals I had.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, healthcare, I will say, it is the most rewarding, frustrating job that you can have for your soul, but it's not going to give you what you need to be successful.
Yes.
I mean, right now, the company that I was working for, thank God my last day was Friday, I can start bitching about them, but they kind of just started screwing their staff over and not really looking after them. So I'm like, okay, well, you now have made it clear that I didn't matter nearly as much. So then it was like a big old moment of clarity. Like, I need to do something different with my life.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like I said,
but
31 hit hard.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and it's a thing. It really matters. And women, it bothers women a lot, but they try to ignore it. And the deal is are women really any less attractive at 29 than they are 30? No. Or 30 to 31? No. But
35.
In a man's perspective, from our perspective, we just naturally know that their youth and beauty is going away. Mm-hmm. Their eggs.
Yep, their eggs
are soon to be going away. The chances
once again, that is not a societal thing. That is just evolution.
It's your chances of fathering a child are lessened.
Yeah,
it might be okay, but it's lessened. I mean, and these are things just subconsciously we just know.
Yeah.
Are women going to continue to get the same amount of DMs and likes and all this? Yes.
Yes.
But the problem is, if you take it, if they get this number of DMs, that are interested when they're young, half of them are interested in a relationship. The other half are interested in sex.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You get to a 33, 4-year-old, they have the same number, but now it's way different. There's only a few that are interested in an actual relationship. Yeah. Most are just interested in sex.
And then you get the younger dudes who are just like interested in, oh yeah, I just want to sleep with an older chick.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But we'll never tell them that.
Yeah. Well, no. And I think there needs to be a conversation of just being okay with the idea. Like, I just want sex.
Well,
and I think men and women both need to have that kind of
but women in the United States can't do that.
No, you can't do that.
You can't, because they'll just shut you down and walk off.
Exactly.
If every man said,
but women want that too. Women want to have sex just as much as men and just want it to be a one night thing. But we can't do that because there's that whole, you have to be in love with someone to have sex with, or you have to have some type of connection.
But what I say is every woman goes through their 304 phase. Mm-hmm. They do. Mm-hmm. But they can't, in general, they can't sustain that. Mm. They don't want that. Maybe 3 months, maybe a summer, maybe even, let's say, a year at most. At some point, it mentally messes them up to a point that it's repulsive to them. They don't, because women are freaking biologically designed to pick the very best man to mate with and procreate. You know, that's just what they've done since we've been on this earth.
Oh, yeah.
You know, so it isn't going to change. I mean, it's reality. Okay, social standards have changed. Okay. Social constructs and standards,
they will always
don't change reality.
Yeah.
Okay, reality is reality, and you can be whatever you want. It doesn't change reality for the majority.
Will not.
Yeah, and you got to figure. You really think that the change is going to happen in a, let's say, even in 15 years?
Exactly.
Okay, 15 years.
For fuck's sake, the Civil
We've been
Rights Act
for
got passed
hundreds of thousands of years.
I mean, for fuck's sake, the Civil Rights Act got passed, what, in 1968, and we're still dealing with those issues.
Yeah,
like to this day,
and it'll never quite go away.
No,
and that's a sad. That's sad.
No,
to me, it's sad.
By the way, once I watched that podcast when you had Tevin, and I can't remember the other guy's name.
Great, Jeff. Yep.
My name is Jeff.
Yeah, Jeffy.
My little name's Jeff, but whatever. Watching that podcast, that was funny because
hey, I had to do some dancing about the questions I wanted out.
See, next time, get those two on, get me on.
Oh, God.
I'm willing to have those conversations.
You know, I'm willing to too, but I mean, like I say,
my thing about race is this: I don't give a fuck.
I don't either.
Why do people give a fuck?
That's what I'm always saying. I don't care, but I know that people do. I'm not an idiot.
Yeah, I know.
So I don't really. I want to. Don't want to offend people. I want to inform people when I got a question. You know, about getting an answer for a question, but I don't want to offend anybody for any reason on that standard.
If you hate somebody because of the color of their skin, when Tevin had that freaking swastika letter on his truck, I don't think there was a single one of us who didn't want to track that motherfucker down.
I can't believe people did, especially, I mean, even around here.
Around here, that's extreme. Most of the assholes who are like that, they know well enough to keep it under their breath or, you know, do it as a snide ass remark. And you know me and Tevin, we joke about that shit a lot. We drop a lot of questionable jokes, but there isn't there's not a doubt in my mind that if somebody actually would try to harm him based on that freaking idea of just because he's a black man, I would fucking end you.
I know this. I mean, I don't think there's very much more thing I could say that is retarded or
it's
shows serious lack of intelligence.
It's
that has that. I don't get it. A race. Who cares?
Who the fuck cares about the cellular structure that made you fucking look different from me?
Now, the deal is like everybody's going to say, well, it's just the separation of genders. Well, no, but the genders are different. Race, you can have the exact same
was literally
people.
One group of people had to hang out where the sun was beating down on them so much, and the other group of people didn't.
Yeah,
that's the only reason why race even fucking exists.
And I don't get it. I mean, there's no difference.
The reason why people in Asia tend to have smaller eyes is because there was one point where they were walking around the snow and they would have gone blind.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what like most people in like Siberia they tend to like thing. But not that there's anything wrong with that. Once again, I actually don't give a fuck. Why am I even apologizing for this?
Yeah.
But it irks me when people make race out to be this negative thing, and it also irks me when people make it out to be a positive thing. There's nothing that pisses me off more than somebody who's like, I think because of the color of my skin, I am somehow better than you. And it doesn't matter if you're white, black, Chinese, or whatever. If you are a supremacist of any kind, I want you nowhere near me.
Oh yeah.
If you come near me spouting that shit, I'm punching you.
Yeah, don't. I mean, be you. Just don't bring that shit over on me.
You're not.
I don't have any time nor effort for somebody that's lacking in any common sense whatsoever,
or in basic empathy.
Yeah, exactly.
Just, oh, hey, there's a person who looks different than me. Okay, whatever.
Yeah, I mean,
For fuck's sake, white people were killing each other for thousands of years because the one group of white people didn't think that the other group of other white people were white enough.
yeah, I mean, it's so sad that, you know what I mean? I seriously thought that, after 30, 40, 50, 60,
I thought we would get some.
I thought we'd be further.
I think we've regressed. I think because
We
now
might have.
now you hear about these schools who want to like, oh, I want black only dormitories. I want and I want a day without white people. And
Yeah, I don't.
We're regressing.
Yeah, I don't like to say that. And the whole Black Lives Matter. I'm not. I don't want to get political.
Yeah.
I don't. But that whole thing. Black lives do matter, but also all lives matter. And why do we have to put a race on it? I mean, I get it because they were trying to emphasize a certain agenda,
a certain issue
that
does exist, but it's not as horrible as people think.
I think if we just if we put it if they would have pushed the all lives matter, and encompassed it in that, I think it would have went a lot further. I think it might actually grown and grown.
It would have, but I think that the circumstance that led up to that in 2020, George Floyd.
Yeah,
that was the first time I think a lot of white people saw, wow, this
that happens.
That happens. And we're finally seeing it for the first time. I think that shook me up a little bit because I never had seen something so obviously fucking.
Well, I think we've all heard it before, but we've never seen it.
People who are like, "Oh, well, he had fentanyl in his mouth," or "Oh, he could talk." Like
who cares?
That was someone's kid.
Huh.
I don't care if he didn't have if he had fentanyl in his system.
No,
the dude was literally crushed to death.
Yeah,
like.
I mean, that's a complete disregard for a human being, and
that cop, Derek Chauvin, I think his name is. I don't think he got enough time. I think when you're a cop and you do something that despicable, I think there should be an added. You had a greater responsibility for that person's life. Oh, and all of that over a fucking bounce check.
Yeah, and I do want to say one thing because I brought up Black Lives Matter and all that. If I did say something out of turn or kind of that offended you in any way of race, it's unintentional and it's not.
I don't give a fuck
because I don't care about race.
I don't either, and that's why I'm willing to joke. Like you really truly don't. Brad and Tevin joke about shit.
Yeah.
Oh my God, you have heard me you've heard some off the cuff things.
Yeah. Well.
And that's because, like, when you don't give a fuck enough, you don't want to give it any power to the point where you can give a fuck.
Yeah. The only power that it can have is the power that
is the power to make you uncomfortable.
Yeah, that we give it to affect us.
Yeah, exactly.
The only way it's going to affect me is if somebody brings that shit over to me and does it to one of my friends. Okay.
Exactly.
Okay. Now. You bring that shit over to affect me. Now I'm gonna affect you. You know what I mean? And in a different way. We're gonna have a discussion you're not gonna want.
No, we're
in a very violent
discussion for very long.
in a very violent way.
Like I said, when that fucking swast.
Dude, that was bad.
A few years ago, Tevin posted a thing on Facebook where somebody had written this long thing about Jews and black people and all this other horrible shit, and had a swastika and put it on his truck. And Tevin is like one of the nicest guys I know. Like, if that guy had sat down, if whoever scumbag did this and actually sat down with him and didn't give a crap about the color of his skin, he probably would have been best friends with him.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just the guy Tevin is.
Yeah.
But once we heard about that, there wasn't a single guy in the group who didn't want to track that motherfucker down.
Oh yeah. Well, nobody ever did find out who it was because his truck was parked off camera.
Yep.
So just far enough,
and it was only his truck, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So somebody fucking knew that.
Yeah, they knew.
And if you are by chance watching this, I'm not even going to say I want nothing bad for you. I hope that you change for the better.
I hope you learn.
I hope not even that. I hope you're changed for the better.
Yeah.
Because to do that, and especially with that fucking symbol, the swastika.
Yeah.
I have visited a concentration camp
Oh, in Germany.
in Dachau.
Yeah.
You can smell it.
Yeah.
You don't kill that many fucking people and not still smell it.
That's
Once again, it's like history has a weight to it. That is that's a heavy place.
Yeah. That's not a. That's got to be one of, like I say, the tomb of the unknown. That, and like over for them in concentration camps and stuff. They're probably some of the heaviest places on earth.
In Bamberg, there is on the sidewalks there are gold bricks for every Jewish person who's taken from a particular home. There's one block, I think, where you could not find not a gold brick.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a point in history that we don't need to hope we ever get back to ever.
Yeah, exactly. And once again, if you're that guy, that fucking symbol did that.
Yeah.
The people those are the only scumbags on the freaking planet who I would say this politely need to be wiped out.
Yeah. I mean,
not pedophiles, but
see, there's another one we definitely agree on.
The way I want to do it with pedophiles now. I believe in my Lord and Savior, Chippy the wood chipper. Feet first.
Yeah. Slowly.
Feet first, slowly.
Yeah.
You touch a kid.
I mean,
all hands go off.
I think everybody
should agree.
Yeah, should agree. I think there's a very small, very, very small
but growing, and unfortunately growing.
And like I say, that's one thing. Like I say, with single mothers need to. I hope you guys really do
vet the hell out of any guy,
and maybe just take a step back, and instead of, okay, I'm gonna date him for 3 weeks, a month before anything, maybe like
give him a couple months.
Give him 3 months. You know what I mean? And because hey, people can hold it together. How many people have lied? They can hold it together for a month.
Yeah,
they can hold it together because you're only seeing them so much. Mm-hmm. But you get 2-3 months and you start getting a little bit of. You're going to start picking things up that's not real.
And once again, like, okay, they met after 3 months. That's not a cue for them to like become more involved in their life. So to kind of give you an example, my mom dated this guy who, I met him twice, and then all of a sudden we had to move to another city, to another town for this guy. And like, he was a good guy. I resented him for a lot of years because, we had to rip me away from my life. But, I grew, like, I'm cool with him now. They divorced, and like, I still talk to him when I see him, but, you don't come into a kid's life, meet him a couple times, and then, I'm going to move in with you. And then change up the entire dynamic that family had up until then. Because not only are you doing damage by meeting them too early, you're doing too much damage by shifting everything too fast.
And it's, like for even my mom, single mother when she was growing up, she didn't ever really bring anybody around, which was good. I am very, very happy that she ended up doing that. There was one, but this was after she had been dating him a year, maybe 2. I don't know, because we didn't.
You never met him,
but we knew that, obviously they knew each other very, very well, and they've been together for a while. Yeah. And he came over, not regularly, but once in a while. They get together maybe once every 3 weeks, once a month. And, just have him sit down and watch a movie or whatever the deal was. And I was, I don't know, I was probably 12. Mm-hmm. And, another man.
Yep.
I wasn't the nicest person for which I wish I wouldn't have done that to her. I think I caused a little conflict. Mm-hmm. And, it got to a point to where I think I caused just enough. Mm. You know what I mean? And
same.
And his voice went up, and we never seen him again.
Yep.
And I wish I'd have never done that, because I don't know. You know what I mean? My mom was awesome.
Kids want to see their moms happy.
My mom was awesome.
Yeah, you don't want your mom to be unhappy. Like, you want your mom to be with someone.
I don't want to say was. I mean, my mom is. She's still alive. I love her. She's the greatest thing in the world.
Still alive. Less than Jack.
Yeah, but yeah, it's and like I say, that's where I have, I learned a lot off of her, the standards that I have, and she didn't pull any punches. She told me straight up, about women, she's not going to let her son, walk into a hornet's nest.
Yeah, and
she is going to tell me the truth.
I never got that advice
from her perspective,
parent, really.
So
I never got that advice because both of my parents were bad at dating. Like, yeah, I mean, you don't my mom was triple divorcee, my dad's a triple divorcee. You don't get to those numbers of divorces and be good at dating.
No. So it was.
Mom, Dad, if you ever see this, I love you both. By the way. Oh God, Thanksgiving did suck.
But yeah, we've been running for a while here, but we've had a heck of a good conversation. I mean, we covered a lot of shit.
How long have we been going?
Oh, like 2:15.
Jesus.
Yeah, we covered a lot of shit.
Yeah, we did. We did.
And I think
I will drag the other guy down here kicking.
Oh yeah,
if I must.
It's a good time.
Oh yeah, it is.
I told you, it's fucking great. I mean, people are a little nervous to start, but once it gets rolling, it's like, man, it's great. And the information you gave was great.
And I'm always willing to teach people shit.
Well, yeah. And then we got. Obviously,
I threw out my dating pitch.
He's single.
Yeah, single ladies.
He's what was a single as a Pringle.
Single as a Pringle, or I don't know.
Yeah, he said something. It was like
single as a Pringle and ready to mingle. There
you go. So
thumbnail.
Anybody that has a maybe desire.
Desire. I know.
Or as I'll say it for Landon here, anybody that has a deep desire to come over and take care of, he's got a little something like, baby, come here, take care of this over here.
I like it. It's nice and deep, like.
But we have, but I do thank you very, very much. We will do another military. There's actually a couple subjects we talked about. Yep. One, we'll be careful about, but.
We'll be careful about.
Yeah, I want you to be involved in.
Yeah.
And I do want to do another military. Yeah, we got a few.
Yeah. We got a couple in the group.
Yeah, I know. And it'd be great to have them all down, especially with days coming up.
Yeah.
So I do. You guys will see Landon more often.
Yep.
And. If you're a single woman,
you can see me as much as you want.
Put it this way. There you go, people.
Yeah.
All right. This is going to get me out of trouble.
I might show up if I care about you enough. I might show up late to work and be in a rush to get back home.
See, this is going to get me out of trouble. All right, Landon, here. All right. So this is the way it is. All you people that are pissed off that I said that about single mothers. Well, here you go. I'm throwing it out right here. Now you got to
freaking bone here.
I found you, single mother, someone. There you go.
Somebody who wants to deal with your bullshit.
It's my way.
And if you piss me off enough, you might just take our frustrations out in the bedroom.
It's my olive branch. It doesn't look like an olive branch.
I know. It more looks like a piece of fucking curved wood.
Yeah, there you go. But so.
Didn't quite muster.
Definitely like and subscribe. Definitely, get on there, share that stuff everywhere, and we'll just see what we can make of this. Because I mean, why not? I mean, it ain't gonna hurt nothing. It's so great to do this. I really do. I'm having a riot.
Yeah.
Also, Landon, we'll get his information on the description for if you guys want to, get together, or you can leave me a comment, or you can, get on, give me an email. But yeah, if you want to, we'll probably grab your Instagram or Snap or something.
Oh yeah.
We'll line them up on there.
I'm more active on TikTok.
Yeah. You guys can follow him and, do your thing from there.
We'll do.
Find out what kind of guy he is. Cause,
I'm an individual for sure.
He's a good guy. He really is. He's a good dude. He is different. He's not a player.
No,
you know what I mean?
I'm blunt. I'm the definition of a blunt object.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
because I'm round either, just the hair's all gone there. By the way, shocker, I'm bald.
Yeah, we got a little curly Joe going on.
Yeah.
Curly Mo.
Oh fuck! God damn it, that's gonna bother me. Which one is the bald one?
Yeah, I know. Curly, but I don't know the curly something.
Larry Curly Mo.
Larry Curly Mo. Yeah, there you go.
I think it's Mo's that's the bald. No, Mo's the black-haired one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Larry is the leader.
Larry's the
kind of
the
guy. Had the
Curly is the bald one. Yeah,
Damper Dam looking guy. Curly's the bald one, and then
obsessed with. He had every VHS tape.
Really?
Really quick though. The reason why I swear a lot is because of my grandpa. So one day back in the 90s, I think I was like 5 years old, he gave us a copy of every freaking VHS tape with every South Park episode. And this was back in the 90s before they started censoring everything with the beeps, beeps, beeps. And we didn't let my mom know about that. And she got called to the school the next day. Why is Landon cussing so much? Well, Grandpa gave me a VHS tape and because Landon doesn't, I don't know how to tell a lie.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, that's honestly true too. You're probably more honest than you should be.
I really am. I really am.
You really should be. You know what I mean? I'm just like, oh my God.
Kids these days, you need to lie a little more.
Yeah. I mean,
gets me in trouble.
Yes, and here we are, bad influences trying to. I think.
Yeah, telling the truth is a bad thing to everybody.
Yeah, no, you don't ever tell a woman the truth when you're trying to meet her.
Yeah, totally. I mean, if I'm just trying to sleep with you, I might try to throw a lie out, but
Exactly.
But
but
fun.
It was definitely a great fun.
Yeah.
I wanted to thank him. We'll have all his information, so you guys definitely get a hold of him.
Yep.
I want at least one woman, at least one. Send.
I'm begging. Hold on, give me the camera. I'm begging on my knees, please, Lord. That'll get you in trouble.
Oh my God, that was embarrassing. Fuck. Okay, guys, listen.
Well,
I don't condone
I'm
this.
a work in progress.
I don't. Yeah, we'll work with him, but it's
I'll get whipped into shape here over the.
But I want at least one woman to send him a message. Even if you're not interested, just do it. Just send it to him, and then man.
Yeah,
I was told to. I watched your podcast. I was told to.
Yeah, put it in parentheses. Like I'm just doing what I'm told. I like that.
Yeah, and then honestly, the div. You would honestly want to have some great conversations. I mean, really, he's extremely intelligent and extremely knowledgeable about many things.
I will admit I trip over my words. Like Brad talks about it. I talk
like that.
Here's an example.
Yeah,
I talk in typos.
Yep. But no, he is extremely intelligent and he is extremely knowledgeable about a lot of things, and he can carry a conversation like most of these other guys can't carry a conversation other than about sex. He can carry a conversation, and it doesn't have to be about sex.
Yeah.
So that and if there's any dudes that want to send him a dick pic, go ahead, whatever. Hey, I'm not judging, man. I'm not judging. I'm not judging.
Make sure it's an innie and not an outie. I have standards, gentlemen.
Yeah. All right. So thank you guys very much. We will be back. I've got a lot lined up.
Yeah.
Coming. You guys will there's going to be a little change, and I'd like to say thanks for being with me. I got to change up some camera angles and things and lighting. That'll be coming here. I mean, not right away, but
you need to find a way to cool this place off. It's hot.
I know, dude, with all the lights and all that stuff.
I'm a shorts in the blizzard type guy.
I know, and I'm like serious, dude, with all these electronics and lights.
Yeah,
it's hot as hell.
Warmish.
Yeah, we're right in the bad part where it's not time to turn the AC on.
Yeah, but it's not time to turn the heater on.
Yeah, exactly. So we're it's kind of bad.
Struggling.
But yeah, we got a lot of things coming. Stay tuned, and definitely comment. Tell me a bunch. Even if you don't like it, I don't give a shit. But yeah, definitely comment and let me know, because it helps the algorithm. And definitely share.
Yeah.
Share it on yours too. I'll share it out, obviously, but share it on yours, and it'll just reach more people. And who knows, you might really help somebody out. There's going to be a lot of things other than just male preferences.
Yeah.
But there'll be a lot more stuff coming that's going to be very interesting, and you guys will hopefully enjoy. But until then, we're going to get out of here. Thank you very much, you guys. I'm out.